Hello, everybody, and welcome to Dicing with Death. How are you doing today, Ryan?
Doing well, doing well. Good to be back so
Excellent.
soon.
I know it's been just weeks.
Maybe a month, but 2 in 1 year. We're on a roll. Um,
Yeah. So we've got Phoenix, our Warlock, and we've done the first session where we introduce, his backstory and how he came to be a Warlock of, what was the name the Mystrians are calling her? Radium. Right, you might know her as Shine, the Golden Dragon, servant of the McGarry family in Crownhold, cousin, nephew of the Empress in Wicthron Reventa. We know her as Radium, the gold dragon with one eye and the burned scales, who lives in Dragon's Peak. Yeah. And before we hop into our session for today, because we've got some adventuring to do, we've got all sorts of stuff. Last time we left off with not rolling for spells. So we've got a list of spells here, and you get to roll for some of them, and hopefully you will get a few good ones.
yeah.
And then we've
Give me
got
a few minutes to log back into roll 20.
Yep.
I figured we'd start a little more, ease back into it.
Oh yeah, what's going on in your life, Ryan?
That's fine. That's fine. Came here to play D&D, right?
Right. We're also gonna get you a token of some kind. I can't remember what your character looks like.
I can remember all that, but the one thing I can't do is roll dice, which is what you were like, all right, ready, roll some spells.
Well, you said you have physical dice, so,
Yeah, I can roll D100s, but someone's got to record those in the character sheet.
That's true. Okay. We never did find a token for you, did we? No.
No, I'm also like naked and covered in dragon's blood right now, so...
Well, we're going to skip ahead to pass that.
Pick a slightly different token.
Yeah. So while you're getting your stuff together, I'm going to talk through some of the Warlock class stuff because I've been working on it.
Right as I start typing.
Oh. Let's see. What did we roll you for HP? We roll.
We started last session as a level 1.
Right. I think we rolled you a D6, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Perfect. Okay.
That sounds right.
Yeah. So for MP, previously we had said it was going to be based on your wisdom score, and it would go, you just roll your wisdom score to gain MP. I've been doing a lot of looking at balancing and making sure that things aren't too closely tied to your stats. We want all these classes to be playable regardless of stats. So fighters don't get, bonuses to hit based on strength unless your strength is really, really high. Rogues barely get modifiers for their skills based on dex and that sort of thing. So we're going to say your MP is a flat 10 MP for each level that you've attained, plus a bonus equal to the HP bonus provided by High Con. So if you've got 15 Con, you get 11 MP at each level. If you've got 17 Con, you get 13 MP at each level, but you still only gain 2 HP per level for the
Whoa.
Con
Can
bonus.
you send are these updates to any
I will
doc or character sheet anywhere?
Send them to you here.
Aha.
Yes. Now, you regain MP when you are within... There's a couple ways. How you regain MP is interesting. When you're within your patron's house, which is sort of like a nebulously defined area, it's like their immediate territory. For you, that would be in Dragon Peak, essentially. You regain MP at a rate of 1 per hour.
It's definitely called a lair, not a house.
Sure. In this situation, it's a lair, but some patrons might be demons or imps or other creatures, and lair might not be quite the right word.
Alrighty.
When you're in the house, you gain 1 MP. When you are in Congress with your patron, you gain 2 MP per hour. And in Congress, how did I define it here?
Where is this? Okay, there. I see.
Yeah.
It took a second to...
So in Congress is just like, hanging with them more personally,
literally
more closely.
a TXT file.
I copied and pasted.
Are you using Notepad to?
If your message is too big to send in Discord, it makes it a TXT automatically.
That's okay.
Yep. You acquire spells like a wizard. You roll for them. If you fail, you can't learn again until you level up or until you move further on the commitment ladder with your patron. So if you're at like commitment level 1 and you fail a bunch of spells, but you don't want to have to like wait to level up to learn them again, you can move to commitment level 2, which brings bonuses and penalties, and then allows you to recheck or relearn any spells.
I was thinking like, yeah.
Huh.
I was thinking what you would call this. It was much more sinister in the original text.
Yeah, I wanted to make it a little more nebulous, with just slight overtones of like, this is a bad thing. So incongruous with your patron, for example. But I wanted to make it a little optional that you could have a warlock for a good golden dragon, and that's not necessarily an evil thing. To gain spells, you got to be incongruous with your patron. You have to have a full mana pool. You got to make them sort of offer like an offering per each spell level. And then you gain spells with them by spending time with them, and you roll for it. Yeah, your MP you gain when you're with them or in their house, and if you're away from them, you got to keep like a little a relic of them on hand. For you, it's going to be a dragon scale. Shine will give you one of her dragon scales that helps forge and keep your link together. If you're outside of her house and you lose your dragon scale, you will lose MP when you sleep. If you're outside of the house and you keep the dragon scale, you'll gain MP when you sleep, but you won't gain any throughout the rest of the day. So this relic is your bond with your patron whenever you're away from them. And it does present a weakness, because if someone searches you and you're like, hey, I've got a gold dragon scale, and that's odd, why are you carrying around this gold dragon scale like close to your skin? This is sort of like a weird warlock thing. For other people, it might be, not. If your patron's not a dragon, it might not be a dragon scale. It could be a bit of their person, or maybe some sort of like sacred totem that has some sort of bonding power between the two of you. They're always pretty distinct.
Pardon me.
Yeah, you're all good.
Dang. All right. A lot has changed. So I do have a chance of spell failure, but I guess does that just roll into
that's based on your wisdom. Yes, you get the cleric spell failure rate. Yeah. For you with 12 wisdom, that's only a 5% chance per casting.
Mm-hmm. You're
so
already,
not terrible.
Is this what you'll be rolling for the... Or this is separate from whatever these rungs are? So I'm starting at 0th rung, I assume, right? Because I'm...
No, you're starting at the first rung.
First? So I already have bonuses?
Yeah, the bonuses are your spells, mana, and mana regeneration. That's the first rung. You're committed.
Okay. And I already can't dual or multi-class into... Okay, but these stats...
No divine casters. Yeah, being a warlock prohibits divine multi-classing.
Seems fair enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just abandon and lose all abilities from... Okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah. And you can
so
see that.
Can I roll for spell learning right away?
Absolutely. Yeah, let me put on some spell learning.
20, and I've got the list here, and you sent this to me at the end of last session, so I've been thinking about these for a while, but I've got high enough int that I think I can just roll down the list and take most of them.
Perfect. Let's put the sounds we want. We want these sounds. Although those are good ones too. All right, here we go. We got a spell list. What are you rolling for first?
Yeah, do we want to... Yeah, anyways, I guess I'll just roll, and then we'll see how the... get back into recap or whatever, explain where we are, or remind me where we are. But in the meantime, I can also do in hundreds. I think, like, statistically, I'll probably get most of them. My spell level, or not, like, I think I can just roll down the list alphabetically.
5, 6, 7, 8,
15
9, 10,
int,
11.
I can do 11 per level. I think there's only 12 or 13 available. Some I like more than others, but I definitely want to roll for armor, and that's the top of the list. So
well, there's 15 of them, so you can get all but 4.
Yeah, and my D100 basic int 65% chance is what I'm looking for.
Okay.
30, so that's a pass. How do I add this to my character sheet? And I would like to cast armor immediately, right? And start regaining those
Yeah.
MP. But anyways, we can
I will add them to your character sheet because I've got a way to make it really easy for you. Bam, there's armor.
Oh, sweet. All right, and I definitely want Burning Hands, and I'm looking forward to reskinning most of these. At least the first couple seemed very dragony. Ooh, that's close, but I got Burning Hands.
Yes.
Cantrip I'm met on, so I think I will skip Cantrip. Charm Person is so OP. How can you not roll for that? Did I? Oh, wait, 99 is a failure, right? I think I've got my
failure.
text wrong.
You do.
That's a shame. Charm Person is OP. I can't believe you put it on this list. When do I get to reroll at second level, or is that just
or
lost?
if you increase your commitment to your patron by 1, you can reroll.
I didn't know I wanted Charm Person until I just failed on it, because that's like I forgot how unbalanced that was in this edition.
It's so strong.
But I will get there. And at level 1, that'd be. Anyways, Detect Magic I feel like is a must. Oh, Featherfall so some of these were so dragony. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right,
Well, that's the point, is that they should all feel very dragon-like.
Yeah, I'm going out of order, so I should probably start taking notes. But I think I'll come back to Detect Magic just in case I fill up, but I don't think I'm going to. Featherfall, I think I have to as a dragon thing. That's a fail. How do I? So it should be less than. Well,
less than.
Yeah, less than would be a success. Yeah,
correct.
Okay. So I fail Featherfall. That's
So you failed Charm Person.
Hypnotism, Light, Shocking Grasp. Sleep is good. Wall of Fog I wanted. I guess I'll roll Wall of Fog next. Can I roll for all of them? Was that?
Yeah, of course. Or, as many of these as you'd like.
I think I've failed enough that I guess we could just go down the list. But since I said Wall of Fog, I'll fail Wall of Fog. And then
you'd think 65% would be.
I guess I have to roll on sleep because I need a good.
There we go.
Success. So I take sleep. That's kind of awkward. I can't imagine. Anyways, all these sweet dragon powers, and then I guess I'll just roll for the rest down the line because I don't think I'm going to fill up.
Great.
So we skipped Cantrip. Although if I want to come back, how many? Let me count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12, 13, 14 level 1 spells available. Yeah, which ones don't I want? I guess is my question. It feels like
you don't want to
better off having them in the bank because you don't need to memorize spells or anything, right? You have these powers available and you use MP. Is it 4 per?
3
for a level 1 spell? So I can cast 3 level 1 spells in a day. That's pretty solid. Like I'm imagining a few levels from now being stuck with Cantrip and not being able to have like Wall of Fog instead.
But Cantrip's great.
Does it have components? Okay, I'm just gonna. Let's roll for them. Let's do it.
Yeah, it's somatic and verbal, and it lasts for an hour per level.
Somatic, verbal, no material components. That's sweet. Well, I'm glad I got Cantrip.
Excellent.
I've already got Burning Hands, Failed Charm Person, Comprehend Languages. Is a failure.
Ooh.
Why is this still not doing this correctly? Oh, 0 successes. Yeah, that is correct. Okay. Comprehend Languages. Probably should have typed the name with the text, but we're fine. Detect Magic, I said I would come back to.
Oh my god.
Detect Magic. Erase, I don't even know what that does. That's the like erasing stuff from a page. That seems like a weird spell to have.
Mm-hmm.
I think I might just not bother learning that one. Is that one?
Yeah. That one is.
That's a waste of a spell slot. Hypnotism is solid crowd control, but it's like a channeling spell.
Erase does remove explosive runes and glyphs of warding and wizard marks.
How do I learn new spells? So let's see, I skipped Erase. That one is Hypnotism.
Hypnotism.
Seems fine. Then I got Light. Shocking Grasp I might skip because I already have Burning Hands. Yeah, I don't need Shocking Grasp. Let's do Light. I feel like it comes in handy, and if it's something you don't need to memorize, that's even better.
Is that Light?
So there's Light. I'm skipping Shocking Grasp. I failed Wall of Fog. Wizard Mark. That's like invisible wizard shit, right? Like,
yeah, you just leave your.
Culty.
Yeah, you would leave your mark on a thing, and it's your special wizard mark, and you can make it invisible, or you can make it visible. And if it's invisible, it'll become visible when you when someone casts Detect Magic or something.
You can make one that's visible?
Yeah, your call.
That sounds like it would. That's like spraying your tag in Counter-Strike or whatever. Whatever. Okay. Do I want Wizard Mark at all, or is that a waste of a spell slot? It's kind of cool, but I don't see needing it right now, unless you see that being part of the campaign.
Which one was this? Wizard Mark?
Wizard Mark. Yeah.
I mean, it's what you
mark
call whatever,
of,
dude.
The Mark of Radium.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Sounds kind of cool. I got a spell slot, might as well. All right, Wizard Mark. That'll come up now. Or maybe does it mean it never comes up? If you pick a spell for the circumstance where you might need it.
You can inscribe your personal rune mark as well as up to 6 additional characters of smaller sizes, etched on soft material, stone, metal, or any softer substance without harm to the material on which it's placed. Yeah.
Or softer?
Yes, if cast on a living being, normal wear gradually causes the mark to fade. So you could put it on a person.
Can you add this to my character sheet?
Yeah.
And I think I failed everything else, right? But that's a pretty
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then you failed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That brings us to 12, and you didn't try erase or shocking grasp.
Yeah.
Or unseen servant.
Can you erase wizard marks? Would I ever want to erase wizard? You said you could.
Let's see. Erase removes writings of either magical or mundane nature from scroll or from 1 or 2 pages of paper, parchment, or similar services.
Wizard mark does. Oh,
it does remove wizard marks.
Components, right? I can use the dragon scale as like a channel, or oh no, does wizard mark really take 10 GP? Or are we gonna play with
a pinch of diamond dust and pigment or pigments? Yeah, I think it'll take a pinch of diamond dust to wizard mark it. Sure, but you have a patron. Your patron is loaded. You can get diamond dust, not a problem. Okay. Finances are rarely going to be an issue when your patron is a gold dragon sitting upon a huge hoard.
Okay. Yeah, let's get back to that. Are we gonna time skip it all, or are we picking up with me in a cauldron of dragon blood?
We're definitely gonna time skip. I just want to make sure that you didn't want to pick up unseen servant or erase.
I missed that one. That's pretty. I skipped erase. Unseen servant sounds handy, so I actually want to go back and grab that one. So there's unseen servant. Erase. I still have spell slots, but I'm worried I'm gonna be. We already had this, right?
Yeah. You're gonna want them later. Or you want to use them later on other things.
I only have 2 spell slots after this, unless I gain in.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You got realistic. 8, dude. You can't count.
I guess when you're old, you can come. So how do I learn these spells? Are they imparted to me at the ritual, or do I spend time?
You spend time. They take 24 hours in Congress with your patron. So you've.
What is Congress? Can you define Congress for me? This sounds.
That's the opposite of progress.
Before I start adding rungs of commitment.
Let's see. Where's my definition?
Like being in a bucket of dragon blood sounds like Congress to me.
That's definitely in Congress, yeah.
All right.
Let's see. Within the patron's house, each patron has a specially designated zone where their clients may directly contact them. Being in such contact is known as being in Congress with your patron. This place could be in their direct presence within their lair, or perhaps a shrine built above a crack in the earth that leads directly to an imprisoned patron, or any other way of maintaining a direct connection. So, like, if you're in Scoria's lair, Shine's lair, you regain mana because you're Radium's. Right. Yeah, you're in her house. But if you're like in her presence, now you're in Congress with her. Mm-hmm. So you just show up and you can skin it how you want. Like maybe you're worshiping her, maybe you're just basking in her glow, maybe she's lecturing you. It can come in many different forms, but it's in their direct presence. Is that good?
Yeah.
Great.
How do I cast a spell?
Standard methods.
Yeah. I want to have armor cast like ASAP. Like right,
done.
Like, but I need blessed skin. Whatever. Scale is blessed leather, right?
Yes. Does armor normally consume
finely cured leather? How much more finely cured leather do you get than a dragon scale?
Well, I mean, she can also just tear a piece of her skin.
So I assume there's a stand-in for a priest
She has the bless spell. She can bless her own skin and hand it to you, and you can have a casting of it. Done.
Dang. Okay.
Dragon skin or dragon scales
I
counts
think
as
that's permanent until I die, until I get knocked out a couple times.
right, until you
9 HP. All right.
Yeah. So you're going to be armored for a nice long time.
Yeah. And are we rolling on the commitment scale as you cast spells, or is that all still? Let's see.
No, the commitment scale, I think, is just a choice that you make. I don't think I haven't written anything about you being forced to go down the commitment ladder.
I mean, it's not forced, but in the let's see that. The two warlocks were every time you cast a spell, you roll, and it was based on like how many spell points the spell cost.
And then if you don't want to go any further, then you can make a saving throw.
And you're KO'd for a few days or something like that.
Right. I think what we're doing here is that you are. Whenever you want to gain new spell levels, you've got to make some sort of offering. And so one of the offerings could be, you get to choose, like you could make a further commitment, or you can do some sort of quest or some other act of service in some way, shape, or form. And so I think the commitment ladder, instead of forcing you down it, we're going to just, tempt people down it with really good options.
So I can't jump right to rung. Oh, you have to bring an offer. How do you go from rung 1 to rung 2 or whatever?
This relationship, each rung brings with it. So you can just choose. If you wanted to at the very beginning, you could choose to forge a super deep connection and jump to the highest rung. If your patron was on board. I've only fleshed out the first 2 rungs and part of the third, but I haven't finished the other rungs. So we can only really play with the first 2 levels right now, if you'd like. And this is usually, how do we say?
Okay.
Your patron may not necessarily accept a deeper commitment at any given time. Like Radium isn't going to want a first level warlock to be like, 6th rung of commitment, because each rung is her sort of, empowering you, and that doesn't just come from nothing, right? You can't create energy out of nothing. That has to come from somewhere. So this connection is two-way.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I do have a chance of spell failure. So one way or another, we probably
it'll be fun.
See where this. Yeah. Okay. So I guess I'll roll that. It's another D100, isn't it?
What chance of spell
this
failure?
One's just 5.
Oh, right, for casting.
But good. That's I roll that backwards or whatever. But
yes, you did.
Right.
But you didn't roll a 5 or less, so you're good.
Okay. You
did not fail your spell. You failed to fail your spell is what we rolled for right here.
Yeah. Or are there visible aspects to the spell? Like, can you tell by looking at someone if they have armor cast on them, or is this not revealed until they test your AC?
A magical field of force that serves as if it were scale mail. Does not hinder movement or prevent spell casting. Adds no weight or encumbrance. I think you would not notice an armor spell until you made an attack that you expected to hit and it was just sort of deflected.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or until I'm enough rungs down the commitment scale that you've got whatever deformities, dragons.
Oh yeah,
real flaking scales.
yeah. There will be all sorts of fun little adjustments as you get closer.
Tongues and wings.
So you've been with Radium in Dragon Peak for a while. And there's a bunch of other warlocks out here, and there's a bunch of other just servants who aren't brought into the full warlock vibe. And Radium, she has a purpose for all of this. This isn't just some sort of, I'm collecting people to soothe my ego thing. Radium has a need for these warlocks of hers, these clients of hers. And she's not necessarily going to tell you the end game right away because you're new, right? Who knows if you're going to stick around, and she might not want to share all of her secrets with all of her lowest entry players. But one thing that she will let you know one thing that is core to your mission here is that radium is the force for good for the people who are out of reach of the normal systems of government. Because look at this map, right? There's Crownhold, there's this whole kingdom over here, but the kingdom's got a hierarchy. You've got the king, and you've got these counts and these barons and these knights who are in charge of this region and that region. If there's some poor oppressed person, there's a hierarchy, a chain of command of how to get the aid that they need. And Shine Radium is here for the people that are outside of these chains. And your first mission, Phoenix, is to head to Kneecap and the Dalg Woods over here, which is beyond the reach of most of the Empire of Drekis. Eridon, the former kingdom over here in this zone that I'm marking, is fallen. And it's been sort of retaken, and it's being repopulated. And the towns in the north are settled presently, but the towns in the south are not. Longcast and Kneecap had some populations. They got badly damaged in the war. They're so far removed from everything, and they're so hard to get to, and there's so little food and things there that they're kind of just independent city-states right now. And these city-states and the surrounding countryside are not in great shape. And if anyone is out there and needing help, there's really no one to help them. It's sort of a lawless land. And so what Radium has done is she has sent out her messengers saying, if ever anyone needs help, if ever anyone is in need of justice or service or a hero to come and free them from whatever tyranny this new age has brought about, you can call upon Radium, the great gold dragon, and she will send one of her servants out here to help you and bypass the whole chain of command. And that's you. You are one of Radium's servants. And someone from Kneecap has sent a message, gotten a message to Radium that they need help. And your first quest is to go to Kneecap and find these people and give them aid. Sound good?
Sounds good.
All right. We're going to take a short break. I need to go get some water. And when we come back, we're going to start upon our quest. So we'll see you there. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Dicing with Death. So you've got this mission, and you know a little bit about it. Apparently, outside of Kneecap, in the Dalg Wood, there's this... I forgot the name of it. A strip mine out there with precious metals that has been... how do we say this? The note that you've received, the message that made its way out here, is that there is a dark knight who has taken over the strip mine and is essentially enslaving the people who used to live nearby to work it. And it's just not just the humans, it's also the goblins and the other little creatures in the area. And this evil knight and his henchmen are, it's this pretty standard thing that you faced all of your years, where those in power show up and coerce or force those underneath them to labor. It's exactly the situation that Mystria had been in for a thousand years. And here is Radium, the great gold dragon, ready to free the people from the knight who is just, yeah. That's the gist of it. But you're gonna find out more when you get there.
So she sends her level 1.
Well, she gets like 100 of these things, and on top of these, she also has to, nurture this would-be king who's coming up, and she's got to help him out with these things.
She might be a gold dragon, but she still only has movement rate like 48 or something. She can only be so many places. She can teleport, can't she?
Maybe. Maybe, but
somebody can. The king can. anyways.
The king's got 1,000 things to keep track of, and there's all sorts of like revolutions and raiding parties that are still going around here, and
so he sends the level 1 acolyte. Is this quest imparted like verbally, or is this like?
Oh, this is verbally, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, you were brought into the chamber.
And her radiance speaks.
Her radiance speaks directly to you. There's a group
the likes of me
of 8 of you that are brought forward, and the quests are handed out. You're going to Kneecap and the Dalg Wood. Someone else is headed to. Let me show the map to everyone. To the Spinewood on Ridgeback Isle, where apparently some sort of necromancer has made his way here. One of the higher warlocks is going to that. This is a 4th level warlock is headed out here just to see what's going on Ridgeback Isle, because apparently in the Spinewood there's some sort of necromancer or undead creature using the shade of the forest to hide the undead. Up in the Muckwood near Slagmire, there's a group of ogres who have so far escaped the attention of the royal group. And it's not a large group of ogres. It's like 4 ogres. And it's so few ogres that no one wants to dispatch knights to like run around in the area between the Weeping Bog and the forest and, lose their horses in this mucky, goopy stuff. But these 4 ogres come out and, occasionally ransack something and then run away. And the higher ups have been ignoring it. So someone sends a message to Radium to get things done. There's even a message from way, way, way down in Drekis proper, way down near the Nerid Lake. Apparently, the group of bullywugs, the clans of bullywugs who have lived in the Nerid Lake and the Blackroot Marsh, who were once on the brink of extinction, have come back in full force and are now like venturing beyond the swamp to attack people along the Odilla River and then like hopping back to the safety over here. And again, cries and pleas to the local authorities have failed. And so a warlock is being dispatched, not to deal with them directly, but to talk to, try and convince the local powers that this is actually worth their time to go do. That's more of a diplomatic mission. So 8 different quests. You're taking one of them. You're supposed to deal.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Yeah. You're calling us warlocks. Is that the official term? Is that what the public knows this group as? Was everyone? So currently, let's see.
Mm-hmm.
Currently,
yes.
my character sheet has clothes, but I think I need to downgrade that to like blood-soaked rags, unless they're handing out like cult robes with the.
No, of course you get cultist robes. That comes with the.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Totes.
So I should upgrade my my blood-soaked rags to cultist robes.
Yes. And since you're the primary character in the storyline, why don't you tell us what the cultist robes look like? Are they
standard
red,
issue,
blue?
or do they denote rank? And what happened to the blood-soaked rags? Because I feel like those are.
They're yours. I'd imagine you probably toss it in a lava pit somewhere to get rid of them, but maybe you hold on to them.
Pit? How convenient.
Yeah, no, there's a lava pit. There's many lava pits in the.
Of course, you throw your blood-soaked rags in the lava pit.
Yeah.
Dragon blood. Yeah. Gold dragon blood soaked rags.
Yeah.
Those would be so useful to some necromancer somewhere. So you've got to dispose of that properly.
What color do you think your robes should be?
Probably like purple or some shit with gold thread, right?
Okay.
Or maybe more gold than purple. I don't know. I mean, yeah. Right, but you don't want gold robes, right? That's ridiculous.
That's a little ostentatious.
And white is impractical. That's going to be so dirty. And so that's such a cliche, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Purple.
And does everyone have the same? Is it like standard issue? They're just like sewing these in mass in Dragon's Peak? And
yes, someone goes out to Crownhold and buys a bunch of robes and has them all dyed together in this one way, and then they bring them back, and one of the assistants or servants here in Dragon's Peak, that does sewing will help sew them together. Yeah.
Probably with literal gold. Probably with like dragon scale or some shit, right?
I don't know how you sew with dragon scale. That seems a little.
Okay, fine. Just
that's can you turn dragon scales into thread? That sounds crazy.
No, but that's what the peasants say. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. How do you make gold thread? Is it real gold?
No, usually
like
it's just dyed gold. You take an onion and you soak some thread in onion, and it comes out surprisingly
it's like
yellow.
Mustard yellow, but you tell everyone it's gold.
Yeah, what's the difference between mustard yellow and gold?
Glass to make it shine. Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Or diamonds. I thought you said we were loaded, right?
You are loaded.
Don't I have diamond dust just like
it's coming out the ears?
Pockets?
Yeah, she steps on a diamond by accident and it's like, well, here's some spell components. You know, because there's too much diamond lying around everywhere. Okay, so we've got some sample tokens. That's not very wizardy or.
I have a rusty sickle from my peasant days. I added the rusty in, but that actually doesn't look too far off. I mean, the blade's the wrong way, but I think. I think that's okay. I mean, it's probably more of a one-piece robe than the like suit with a weird cloak tucked between your legs. He's girdled his loins, is what I think happened in this token. But I'll take it and make fun of it.
Okay, I also have this guy who is more gold.
No,
and...
not the first one. I girdle my loins, Neal. Just give me the first one.
Done.
And that actually, maybe you do. Maybe Radium's cultists girdle their loins before battle. Oh, okay, no, he does have like pants on underneath. That's like a weird sash. That is useless. It's just
it's like what quarterbacks have.
It's an external jock strap.
Yeah, it's let you dry your hands before you catch the next ball, right?
Okay.
Quarterbacks have these. Of course they do.
But I definitely but not instead of the saber. It's just like a farmer's sickle.
Perfect.
And it also took a bath in dragon blood, so like it was probably well kept at one point, but I think immediately like simultaneously blessed and cursed.
Right, because blood is actually really bad for weapons.
Yeah, right. It was dragon blood. You think it'd be cool, but you got to take the necessary. Right, you can like quench it in dragon's blood, but if you just like give it a room temperature bath,
that's no good. Yeah. All right. HP, MP, AC total. Okay.
So let's see. My MP went down since the last time I saw this. But
yeah, it went down to 10.
It's now based on con instead of.
No, it's just a flat 10 with a bonus for con. Yeah.
Okay. So I went from like 4 spells to 3, but that's still pretty good for level 1.
You know what? Let's actually do it above.
And you said spell learning took 24 hours per spell, so I've been here
per spell. I think you attempted 12.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, but I tried all those other ones.
Right. Yeah. So you've been like here for a while, and I think beyond that, there's probably been some teaching and some indoctrination.
Yeah,
and some like getting the lay of the land. I think you've been here for a few months now.
Yeah, I heard you mention like at least 8 other. What do we call ourselves? Cultists? Are we in a cult?
Acolytes? Well, you're definitely in a cult.
Acolytes. Are they?
Acolytes,
there's probably
warlocks.
ranks above acolyte, right?
Yeah, definitely. You're at the lowest of the rank, and these ranks are usually based on the commitment level between the warlock and the patron.
What's
not
the total
necessarily.
Population of Dragon's Peak? And what's the?
Are you talking just warlocks?
I mean, I guess it's the map of it's Dragon's Peak, right? You got the.
Yeah. Did I ever make a full map that was public? I don't think so.
I mean, I'm a lowly acolyte. I don't get to see that shit, but I know it's.
Yeah.
Anyways,
so in
spoilers.
terms of actual spellcasters, there is there's like 16 or so around here that you've been here for a couple months. Some people have come and gone. You've heard some names. You think there's about 16, but maybe there's somebody who's off doing something else. And also people die. It's not necessarily a safe job being one of her acolytes. The accidents happen.
Has anyone been thrown in the lava since I've been here, or is that not a common occurrence?
No one's been thrown in the lava.
Or burned by dragon fire.
No. Well, I mean, they're
melted with acid breath.
There was a troll who was brought in, and the troll got roasted. But no people. All right. So you've been tasked to go to Kneecap, actually the Dalg Wood outside of Kneecap, and your task is quite vague. It is to just deal with the Dark Knight at the strip mine. But that's pretty nebulous.
People come and like do they have audience at Dragon's Peak, or they're like people don't come to Dragon's Peak? There's like official, or who knows where her Radiance gets these messages.
You get the messages as best as you can. Like some people, the non-spellcasters, go out and spread the word of like, if you need help, you can call upon Radium, and Radium will come and save you. And kind of spreads this. It's kind of like a whisper network. You know, you're not supposed to. The warlocks working for Radium are. You get the vibe. It's all very hush hush. Like it's not sanctioned by the king. Like the nobles don't necessarily know that Radium has warlocks who work for her. Everyone knows that Radium has like minions, but that the minions are spellcasters who get their magic from Radium is definitely a trade secret. I mean, you've never been directly told that you can't tell anyone, but it's heavily implied by context that this is a hush hush operation.
Yeah.
And how people come to, beg for her help. If you can make it yourself, you'd make it yourself. If you can send a message, you send a message. They come in all sorts of forms. And sometimes they come with gifts.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Who taught me all these spells? Was that
Radium?
Radium herself? Or
yeah.
Radium?
Yeah, you were in Congress with her.
Okay.
She actually, so it's not so much like teaching you spells. She is not divinely, but, warlockly, patronly, imparting these into your...
Bestowing them upon our feeble mortal minds.
That's the phrase, yes. Bestowing these upon you. And it takes some connection and some commitment, and you need to sort of, feel her presence within you, and then your mind has to try and process this thing that's sending that, this information she's giving you, which is why it's an intelligence-based skill. Yeah. And then your wisdom willpower is how also relegates your ability to cast them. Like, can you manage the connection between you and Radium well enough to channel these powers? So yeah.
Cool. Should I track non-valuable spell components? So I'm seeing phosphorescent moss, fireflies, whatever, the sand and rose petals, and...
I would assume you probably have like 10 castings of each.
Should I track 10 castings of each, or should I track piece of string and bit of wood? This just sounds like wizard pockets.
Yeah.
And wizard mark is the diamond dust.
Yeah. I would let's not bother. You've got some spell components. You don't have like low strength, do you? 10 is fine. You're not carrying armor.
I don't have armor. I mean, I got dragon armor.
If your stuff gets taken, gets taken, then you don't have your spell components. If it's not taken, you've got enough. If you're out for a really long time, we'll roll some dice and see if you run out of spell components before you make a return trip here.
All right.
We are going to assign you
them unless they're weird, like the diamond dust, which apparently isn't weird. That's just we just have that.
Yeah, she keeps it. She's got a whole bunch. It's in like a little folded piece of paper, so you can like shake it out in little bits. Because if it's in like a leather bag, it might get stuck in the. So
you've got it in your pocket until you get I don't know. Until you have to swim across the channel and the Grand Canal, and all your diamond dust falls out of your pockets.
Right. Speaking of the Grand Canal and how you're going to get across it, you're traveling. You're going to need money for all of this stuff. And so Radium will gift you, you probably don't need more than 2 bags of gold to handle this quest.
Bag? What, you're weighing gold by the bag? Is that 50 or?
50 each, yeah. So go ahead and take yourself 100 pieces of gold, or if you don't want just gold, like you could take silver instead.
I already have 11 silver. I'm wondering how that... Is that still here? Do I just burn that? Did that get thrown into the... No, we keep silver. That didn't get thrown into the lava with...
No, you would just toss it in the hoard. The only question is, do you want to only carry gold? Because you might not want to be pulling out gold coins when you're buying things here and there.
I have 11 silver left. Like I said, I don't know what that's from, but
that was just your character creation gold.
So we'll have somehow fished that out of the pocket before. Switching from... They burned. Did I throw my farmer hat in the lava too? I've got.
Oh yeah, it was blood soaked, dude. You don't want that. You can't just let that blood soaked farmer's hat fall into a mad wizard's pocket.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. No, I'm yeah, Phoenix is all about this. So I guess cross the Grand Canal. I don't know if I've ever done that. In fact, I'm almost sure that I haven't, but I can swim. You don't swim across the canal though, right? You take
No, it's
a
miles. You
there's
have to
like
take
an
a boat.
is it like an elevator at Thabin or something to
It's a
or that's across
long
the
staircase that goes
okay.
down and 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 down until there's a little port down below, and then you can take that. Normally, people take it to High Castle. In theory, you could take it to Longcast, or you could take one to Kneecap if you can find a boat that's going to those places. But there aren't, because these are sort of, weird city-state things. You can get a
can
boat.
you get from Stout like so my ruined village is this X mark I think.
Yeah.
Can you get there from Dawngate? Right.
Wait, from the village to
How do you
Dawngate?
can you cross the Grand Canal? No, from Dawngate to Kneecap.
You have to take a boat. The Grand
But
Canal is
there
like
are boats available
3.5
from
miles
Dawngate to
across.
Kneecap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you could take
That's
a boat
probably
from
easier. That's probably like
Thabin.
commuters. No,
Yeah.
those no. Anyways,
The issue is that these cities here, Longcast and Kneecap, they can just sort of close down their staircases. So if you can arrive in the bottom of the canal, you can hike, 800 feet up, and then just have the gate be closed on you. Or maybe it's open. But these are sort of protected areas that are trying to keep themselves insular from the new governments, the new powers that be.
Okay. So I know that you can't cross from Dawngate to Kneecap.
You know that it's going to be awkward. You can definitely get off at High Castle, but then that's a fucking journey. Or you can try getting off at Longcast, which is generally the friendlier of the two. Or you can try getting off at Kneecap. Or I don't know. What are you going to do? Go all the way down to Tassel? Tassel's completely destroyed. You could hire someone specifically to take you there. And then maybe, if it's destroyed, maybe their staircase is intact. Since it's usually like cut into the earth. It's not like a wooden staircase. So maybe you can just hike up at Tassel and then walk over. I don't know.
Is this even Mystria at this point, or would he Drekis? Whatever is that all Eridon to the like that's unclaimed to the east? Okay.
Well, this is 1515. This is right after the war is over. So a lot of this stuff down here, everything that I'm marking out, is unclaimed territory.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is all currently free lands. Or wastelands, as it may be. Free because there's nothing left living there other than monsters and the occasional demon.
So in all likelihood, I mean, this is the first time I've done this, but I'm inferring that by Dark Knight you don't mean just like it sounds like the same shit, same old story.
It sounds like the exact.
It becomes all the way to her radiance that this is when they say Dark Knight, they don't mean some asshole oppressing his peasants. They mean like an undead, the Death Knight. Probably not for a level 1 character. You would have heard about that beforehand, but like, there's something more nefarious than Yeah,
I mean, if it's just the standard run of the mill lord in charge who's oppressing the locals, that's probably not quite reaching, worthy of
something.
Something's up.
If it got to me, who knows? I'm only level 1 character. Maybe I gotta investigate false alarms like that. I don't know. Like I said, first time I've done this.
Yeah, or maybe it's a false cry. Maybe they're just trying to lure out some would-be hero to rob him for all he's worth.
Yeah, so I get across how I'm a level 1 peasant. I just switched my class, but I don't have any new skills.
Right.
Although they apply to the situation eerily well.
Which skills are those?
Swimming.
Well, you can't swim the canal. It's miles across.
Oh, damn. Anyways.
You're going to have to leave Dragon's Peak.
Herbalism. I know exactly how they made the Dragon's Blood.
Yeah, they made it by taking it out of her hand. So the easy route would be just go to Thabin.
But I am a peasant, yeah. So I think I get across the canal like a peasant would, and I walk. I don't mind walking, but I've never been. This is Eridon.
This is Eridon,
right?
Yeah.
the ashes of Eridon.
Yeah. So my first question for you, because traveling through Mystery is not a problem. Where do you want to arrive in Eridon? You can guaranteed arrive in High Castle. You can probably arrive in Tassel with no interference.
Unless I'm given other
Longcast.
guidance, I think I just leave like the peasant I am and walk. And I walk to Thaben, and I take a whatever passenger ferry, taking silver for coin to get plebs across the canal, and then I walk the rest of the way from High Castle.
All right.
How much silver does it cost to cross that? I assume you just like walk down the stairs, and there's just like a ferry, and you put your
Yep. You walk down the stairs.
Coin in, and
there's a ferry. You pay your 5 silver.
High Castle is not. Wait, what is there still a castle there? Is it ruined?
Yeah. No, High Castle is intact. This is Eridon. Okay. They managed to survive everything. They are currently, I think we said this was in the year 1515. So technically, this is a free country right now. This is Eridon. They are their own independent kingdom within this purple box.
Isn't there also like an East Eridon? Yeah, Red Castle.
Yes, they are also now their own free independent people over
It's a different
here.
Eridon. Okay.
Yeah, well, these people have a different name. I think they're called the Principality of Wake County or something like that.
That's in the east. Okay, High Castle is still.
Yeah, High Castle's in the west, and they still lay claim to this confederation of civilization, but the dwarven areas are presently in. I don't think your character would know this, but for Ryan to know this, these areas are in somewhat of a revolt. Like the dwarves have said, we are our own people, and High Castle's like, sure you are, just pay your taxes. And their tax man's knocking on the gates of the dwarven town, and the dwarves are like, la la la, we can't hear you. And High Castle's like, it's our property. They just haven't paid their taxes yet this year, and that's what's going on. Because when you're in your 30s, Dungeons and Dragons mostly about who's paying taxes to who.
And Einhard, third of his name or whatever, he's not. He's in his mithril plate mail.
Right. Oh, what did
he's not going to pay taxes to some
fucking human
leftover
king
duke in Eridon.
No way. Yeah. All right. So you get to High Castle. It's a short journey across the canal, but it's also the first time you've ever left home. You speak multiple languages. You speak Mystrian, Orc, Goblin, and Drakissian. You don't speak Eridonian. Eridonian and Mystrian and Drakissian, they're the equivalent of Romance languages, right? Like one of them's French, one of them's Italian, one of them's Spanish. So they're kind of similar, but they're not close enough that you can necessarily speak. Yet here you arrive in a foreign land, knowing where you're supposed to go with maybe just enough to kind of like get some ideas across. But also, High Castle's a big multicultural city. There's plenty of people here that speak Mystrian because it's just right across the sea. And as you arrive in the docks and climb the stairs, you got a person coming up to you being like, hey, boss, in Mystrian. Hey, boss, can I help you? What do you need? Do you need an inn? Do you need a hotel? Do you need a tavern? Do you need a girl? Do you need directions? What can I do for you? Just a couple silver.
I don't know if you want to test out a dice roll to see if I trust this guy, but my instinct as a player is to say no thank you and keep walking, unless I'm like so tired that I actually need to rest in this.
Nope.
City. No, I think
midday.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I know I'm a peasant, but like this reminds me of whatever the markets in Half Hill back in the day, and having to
Yeah.
You don't buy turnips from every turnip cart.
Yeah.
Or so yeah. So I know what's going on, and I brush past him and leave the city and start walking southeast to.
Sure.
Yeah.
And you make your way out of the city.
Sleep in the woods.
I'm sure you'll buy some supplies before you head out into the wilderness, since you're going to be needing food.
Is that a thing?
Rations.
A bag full of peasant snacks. Let's see. Maybe you do buy turnips from every turnip cart you cross. Can I take that back?
You can buy rations. It's 2 silver per day's worth of rations. It's made of fruits, nuts, cheeses, bread, dried meats, that sort of stuff. And they come in nice little packages with a little bit of just like a thin sheet of burlap tied with some twine, holding it all together. And you just can pile a pack of them together. So 2 silver per day. Buy as many as you'd like.
Yeah, I guess I have to buy those in High Castle. I guess I didn't think of those before I was... At some point I think of this, and I will spend several silver... How many days? We're talking like... Wait, it's even... Oh, kneecaps all work on. Yeah, so we're talking...
It's probably 4
week,
days
maybe?
to
A
long
week?
cast, maybe
Is
another
it 2 pounds a day? Is that what we're saying? It's like
Yep.
14 pounds.
Yep.
Add rations. Weight 2, total 7.
Well, if you just put in 7 in the number slot, it'll do the math for you.
Oh, wait.
You put 17.
7, weight 2. I think I might encumber myself with that. Oh, so I go to... guess I go to 5? Wait.
What do you do? You would put
2, total
17
7.
rations. You have 7, not 17.
Right. Wait, number 7, total 14. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, number, item, the weight, and then the automatic totaling of the weight, and then the value of each individual one if you want.
That number column is very confusing. It's quantity, it's not like the number in the list. Anyways, yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's
7
quantity,
rations,
the
2,
number
14
that you have on
pounds.
hand.
So I think, where's my total weight? Oh yeah, weight allowance. Okay, 25. Okay, yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah,
Buy a
you're
week's
good.
ration. How much do you say that cost? 2 silver each. I might need
Yeah.
to give gold. Is that 2
Whatever, you're in
gold
High
and get
Castle.
change?
That's
Is
probably
that
pretty
that's a thing
safe.
that I can do.
Yeah,
Even without speaking the language. I don't even think Eridonian's a whole different language. I guess I've never been to Eridon.
yeah.
For sure. I'm like a
Different language.
Mystery and peasant.
Yeah, but
Okay,
everyone
yeah,
speaks
but
the
I can
money
buy it for-
of coin. You can travel to a foreign land where you don't speak the language, and you can shop in the markets. Everyone's happy to help you spend your
Do I
money
have
with them.
Turkissian coin? Is it randomly generated because it just came from a dragon's horde?
Yes, it is a combat. This is an Eridonian coin. Here's a Drakissian coin. Here's an old Akuban coin. Here's a bunch of Mystrian coins. And then here's some random stuff that you've never... It's square for some reason. Where the fuck did these square gold coins come from? Who knows?
Well, I only show 2 to the merchant and give me
Right.
change, but
Great. Yeah,
buy
he
my
gives you
rations.
silver.
I've got a water skin on my character sheet somehow. I guess I showed up with that.
You started it. Yeah.
I washed the blood off of it, and so I do have a blood-soaked water. Is it a blood skin, or do I get a new standard issue one from the cult?
Do you drink blood?
No, only the one time. Just the
Then you're
once.
good. Then you're good. It's just a bloodied, watered skin, permanently stained red. And you head out into the wilderness on your first real adventure as a fully dignified warlock of Radium.
Is that? Yeah. Okay. How recognizable is that? Probably guy shows with purple robes throwing around gold coins.
It's unusual,
seems like
but you might not immediately think warlock, but definitely like worth remembering, I would say.
And I think the sickle's like tucked underneath my robes, right? Like it's on the belt underneath. So
Yeah. So you leave and you start heading southward. You find a bridge, a crossing section on the Tam River where you got to go down this canyon and cross the bridge and up the other side of the canyon. Not a problem. There's some guards there that, keep the river safe from people. And you can make your way along the coastline towards the Bramblewood and Smuggler's Pass. But this area here, it's in the wilds, and it's not the safest place in the world. And you're just a single man out here all alone, and bad things happen to single people as they travel. And something bad is about to happen to you.
You know who I am?
Who are you? Are you someone yet?
I don't know. Let's roll for surprise before I talk shit. How far? So how do I cross the Tam River?
There's a
wade across
bridge.
it? So there's a bridge? Okay.
Yeah. A bridge. A regular old everyday bridge. And it's the Bramblewood that's the dangerous part, because it's got this like cliffy face to it. And ooh, baby, you want to change these cells values. So go ahead and roll me a surprise check.
Oh, I get to roll it.
Yeah, D10.
5 should be a pass unless it's
That is a
some
pass.
special creature with a... Yeah.
No, it's all good.
And perception. Oh, I've got... Yeah, my...
What?
Yeah.
What?
My perception's 6.
But you don't have a penalty to your
my
surprise adjust, thankfully.
No, I do not. But I did get my face melted off by...
That's true.
By what's her name?
Scoria. Fire incarnate. Yeah. Is it? Do I have it here?
Or with 2, maybe that's why I only have 2 HP. I used to have more HP, but then I got my face melted off.
Mm-hmm.
Honest.
Just need a quick little token for our newfound friends. Friends is the wrong word.
Plural?
Friends, plural. Yes. Excellent. Excellent. Yeah, Here's my dice.
See no tokens nor friends.
Oh, yeah. I'm working on a separate map over here.
Oh, no. Maps.
Yes. Because you're going through the Bramblewood, and you hear some unusual sounds. Sounds... You've grown up in the wilderness your whole life. You're pretty familiar with what the wilderness sounds like. And as you're walking through the Bramblewood in all of its glory, and it's on this sort of hillside, and so you're kind of cutting across the flat areas of the hills, and you find a trail that you're walking across. There's a reason they call this place the Smuggler's Pass, because there are ways to get along here. And it's as you get to this decently made and decently upkept bridge along the Smuggler's Pass that the noise in the forest around you gets a little bit louder, and scampering down from either side of the cliff nearby you are these... They're not showing up on the map. Why are they not showing up on the map? They are... Oh, but their HP bars aren't. That's why you can't see them. So, are a small troop of kobolds. Not a lot, but there's only one of you, and that's probably why these little critters came out. It's because there's only one of you. 2 in front of you, 2 behind you, little spears intact. The little critters, you still can't see the HP bars. Why not?
I can see the critters, but I can't see the HP bars, yeah.
Ugh. There we go. Okay. Forget that we haven't... There's a whole bunch of settings have been changed in Roll20 since we last played Dicing with Death, like years ago, and I haven't updated all of them here. Here we go. 2 kobolds scamper down in front of you. 2 kobolds scamper down behind you. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they've got their little spears, and they start jabbering at you in their kobold tongue. It's not one of the languages you speak, is it, Phoenix?
No. Kobold? Who do you think?
No.
Yeah. No. No.
Yeah. It's clear.
I speak a little bit of Orc and Goblin to communicate with my former oppressors or whatever back in the back in the day, in the good old days.
Yeah.
But I don't think Kobold is related to Goblin or Orc.
Definitely not. Completely different language set. It's clear that these creatures want you to drop your stuff, right? They're jabbering at you, and they're pointing at you with their sticks.
Should we roll for initiative? I feel like this feels important enough to throw off a cantrip first round of first chance to roll initiative. So
okay, so you're just opening up with spells immediately.
I feel like that. Yeah, whether or not I'm debating with the cantrip or do I sleep? I think I just cantrip. I mean, either way, it's the same number of mana, right?
Yep.
But cantrip lasts longer, more interesting. Right? Can I recover spell points outside of? I can't do that
At
at all,
night,
right?
as
But
long as you
I
have
see
your...
four. As soon as I realize there's 4 kobolds and I'm surrounded, yeah, I'm dropping the spell.
All right, we will roll
So let's roll for
initiative.
initiative.
Yes.
Cantrip lasts the entire duration, right? 1 hour per level. So that's the whole hour. I can't see them all. Maybe I can't see them all, and I don't want to fight through. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna cantrip. Is that
Oh, yep.
okay? Oh, that's
Easy
that's as
peasy.
bad as possible. So I'm in like, I start casting a spell,
Yeah,
and
the
we'll
kobolds
see
come
if they are
down.
aggressive immediately, or if they give me a round to like.
They shake your sticks. You go and grab. Cantrip doesn't actually have any material components.
It's verbal and somatic. So I like. I don't know, in whatever. It's a spell. Who taught me the spell? Shine taught me the spell. So I think I say in like draconic or whatever your world's equivalent of that is, and start gesturing wildly. Like, do you know who I fucking am? Yeah.
All right.
I guess it probably were. Yeah. I can't. Yeah.
The leader of the kobolds rolls a natural 1 on his intelligence check. Has no idea what you're doing. Jabbers at his nearby friend, who moves all the way forward while one moves all the way up from behind. And they kind of just begin to... Actually, only 2 of them go before you. It's actually these 2. There we go. So they move a little bit closer as you speak words towards them. But you don't have any components in hand. You're not doing anything obviously magical.
Yeah.
Your spell finishes on your turn.
Blade. I'm just a crazy human, like jabbering at them in a language they do not understand.
Exactly.
But,
yeah. What your cantrip can go off? What's it going to be?
Yeah, that language happens to be whatever, draconic or whatever the fuck. And for the hour, I can do all these cantrip things. I mean, I think the first things just look super scary.
Describe it to me.
I think. I think I look like a fucking dragon cultist. I mean, these are kobolds. No one's gonna believe them. You can scare them off by being like, "Yo, I'm a dragon cultist in draconic," and flash like they see you standing there with gold scales because you cast a cantrip.
Is that what you? Yeah, I mean, I just want you to tell me what you do.
So
you make your face.
It's a minor illusion, but I think for the first round that I can, I like. Yeah, the cantrip. It's like a minor illusion. Makes me look like a fucking dragon cultists. I look like a gold dragon man yelling at them in this terrifying language, and they're like, "Holy shit, this guy's got spells."
You make your face sparkle with dragon scales, obviously.
I don't know. Yeah.
I want you to tell me what you're doing instead of vague. Give me the details, Ryan. Ooh, that's not great. I just ripped my combat and tactics critical hit table in half.
Whoa! Oops. He's gotta make your own critical hit table.
Well, that's why we have backup books, but that's a bummer. I've had that combat and tactics book for 18 years now. No, 20-something years? 20-something years. It's fine. We don't get attached to physical things.
Don't remind us how old you are.
Yeah, tell me about it. So what's your... Describe, sir.
I think I cast this cantrip, so my spell gets off, the dummies don't interrupt me, and so I just turn around and start glowering at the kobold behind me, trying to like spook him into running back.
Yeah, but what do you do with cantrip?
Personal bubble.
Tell me what you do with the spell. It's not just it has...
It's a minor magical effect, right?
But what magical effect are you making? Tell me what you do.
Balls, puffs of... it lasts for an hour, and I assume I can continuously change. Like once cast, cantrip spell enables the caster to create minor magical effects for the duration of the spell.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, so but tell me about the magical effects.
As a spellcaster is to right. That seems within the realms of the cantrip to make my skin appear like glowing gold dragon scale. I got like an armor spell cast. And then, so basically I try to intimidate the kobold with it. And Right. So the next round I turn and I don't know, I boo at him and
You-
hope that he gives me more space. And so I guess I've
So
been
what I'm
ready an
hearing
attack.
from you is
Next
that you
round,
make your
let's-
face covered like covered in golden scales,
And like
you
maybe looks like I got sharp teeth. I try to, like I don't know if I get. It's not as strong as an alter person spell, but
right.
the kobold thinks my teeth are bigger than they should have been.
Yeah,
I don't know.
and
Anyways.
cantrip says it's obviously magical, so your teeth kind of elongate in these like fake magic things, and your skin turns scaly, and you go boo at the kobolds, and the kobolds will pretty quickly make themselves a morale check here, and this is a little bit startling because they're cowardly creatures by nature, and they quickly back up, but they don't quite run. Instead, they get a little bit of distance from you, and they jabber maniacally between one another.
Okay. And I think I'll hiss, and I turn around, and I ready an action to draw my sickle. I guess I don't. No, I draw it right mechanically. There's no reason to keep it like there.
Sure.
I draw my sickle, and I turn around, and I keep walking, and. When I get to more open ground, I think I'll try to maybe outrun
when you turn
them or
around,
something,
I mean, you're on this passway, like they are blocking you in either direction. They've given you breathing room, but
so I keep walking forward with an action ready. Is it mechanically possible to move and ready an attack?
Yeah, if you have your weapon out, you can slowly walk forward and ready an attack.
Is that forward? I thought forward was the other direction, but
this is the
fine.
direction you're heading right now.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
as you go forward,
I only move like whatever. I move to there and wait to see if they fall back and keep. Yeah.
The ones behind you will hurry to catch up, and the ones in front of you will retreat to get out of your way a little bit. But they kind of keep this close distance.
And I look around and make sure there's not more than 4.
Give me a perception check.
We talked about this, Neal.
It's terrible. Yeah.
I roll a 9.
Yeah,
including my perception.
You got the one eye, just like the dragon. There could be kobolds everywhere. You don't hear them, but they're chattering quite a lot. This is new territory for you. There's cliffs all over the place. They could be hiding anywhere.
But I think with the roll of a 3, 3 on the dice, I assume there's only 4, and I think I keep trying to walk. I guess with an action readied.
Yeah.
And
one of them
running off the edge of the map. But if I go here, they don't back up. What's behind?
They do. They will continue to back up. I will expand the map.
Oh no.
And give us more dungeon.
And more dragons. So I think I can continue to alter, so I keep stacking the spooky effects as if the rounds tick by. So I guess at some point that means I let my guard down and concentrate for a second. I mean, there's no concentration, but
it does take some level of focus to make these things happen.
So
so you continue to move forward. They continue to back up. I don't want to make
it better than a phantasmal force, but I can
phantasmal force you can't necessarily tell is an illusion. This is obviously some sort of magical effect.
Puffs of wind, glowing balls that float over the hands. I think I can Are there any in front of me? Or they're still in front of me?
Yep.
So I would like to make a glowing ball, puff of wind. I think I breathe cantrip fire so at some point I stop. I drop my readied action. I make the cantrip puff a little it deals no damage. It doesn't actually do anything, but a little gout of flame at the kobold and lunge at the kobolds and. And actually breathe fire and it smolders a little bit, but it doesn't actually give off heat or do any damage or anything.
Yeah, you do
try
to a puff of fire as if you're breathing it yourself.
In melee combat, but yeah.
Nice. Okay. This is enough.
I won't actually close more than 10 feet from them, but I act
this is
like I'm
enough.
about to rush them and breathe fire and
Our kobold friends will scurry over here and hop down the cliff. At a certain point and run off, and the ones behind you will scurry back.
And next time I'll pick up to a casual jog, and try to outpace them.
Yeah. Well, they're small, they're short, they got stubby little legs. You can pretty quickly outpace them. You're down 3 MP, even though for some reason it's not updating.
And I can only regain that by returning to the
Rest.
lair or commuting. Yeah, so that's...
Well, you have the dragon scales with you. So
okay.
when you sleep, you regain up to 1 MP per hour if you have your scale with you. If you lose your relic of radium, you lose MP when you sleep. So you could try and stay awake as long as possible to maintain your MP, or you can just, accept you will lose some while you pass out.
Okay.
But these guys are gone for now.
Yeah.
But only for now, because they return shortly. And when they return,
Is it more than an hour later, or what are we talking?
Yeah, it's going to be more than an hour later.
Okay. So my...
Actually, hold on. I need to look at the big map for just a moment because...
Sure. I wouldn't mind seeing it as well.
Yes. Big map. Bramble, this area is... No, because it's maybe a mile later, and you walk at about 3.5 miles per hour, considering the rough terrain, maybe 2.5 miles per hour.
I'm trying to jog. Like, I don't ever want to have to roll con checks, but if I can increase my movement rate for the short term, I'm doing that. But it sounds like So cantrip is still running. So like the illusion, I would have dropped the dragon, whatever, illusory dragon skin, and yada yada. So I'm not using the cantrip, but it's still, the cantrip is still in effect. It sounds like.
So, but maybe a mile later, as you're jogging down the road, you hear the sound of a horn blowing. So maybe like a goat's or a ram's horn that's been plucked off their head and used to like.
A kobold horn or a human, like kobold-sized lungs or human-sized lungs? Can I guess that?
Give me an intelligence check.
Yeah, right. I'm a smart guy. No, okay.
You're not sure.
Fucking horn.
Depends on distance.
I go into a full-blown run.
Okay. Well, if you could pass me a con check, you can outrun the kobolds who are preparing to get in your way. Yes. Okay. You can maintain your run or your jog long enough that by the time the kobolds set up their trap or their reinforcements arrive, the warlock is gone. And you will pass through Smuggler's Pass without too much problem here.
These are the kobolds, right?
Yes. Yes, they were calling for their cleric, their new cleric who is here to there's a magic man. We got to go get the big boss. We got to go get the big boss, and the big boss will help us deal with the magic man. Yeah. But by the time, because they've got movement rate, 6 or 9 or something like that. So you can just outrun them.
Okay, I couldn't remember if kobolds did slower movement rate. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, they get movement 6.
Phoenix
so if you're
would
running,
not have known what was going on there, but
yes, the kobolds were going to get their cleric, but it's fine. A few days later, you will arrive in Longcast. I think it's a few
days, right? So this doesn't feel like a safe place to sleep. So I'm looking at how many miles total was it?
About 40 miles to Longcast. So that probably took you 3 days.
I never get any good rest, right? I stop because I physically can't move or can't, right? I find somewhere to pant after running until I fail strength checks or whatever it is, but I don't think I sleep.
Yeah, you're not getting.
I think I'll find
rest.
A barn or something in Longcast to sleep in.
Well, Longcast is a shadow of the former town that it once was. It's kind of run down on the outsides. There's plenty of farmland, and plenty of people not enough people to work the farmland, but plenty of pasture land.
So
you'll see goat herders with spears and sticks. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I'm a farmer. I mean, I got agriculture, and So I would like to identify an abandoned barn, but hopefully one that's not infested with monsters. Well, can I make an agricultural search for such a thing? Barely a pass, but Who do you think you're
Yes.
dealing with here?
You
Okay.
find yourself
So
a nice
I find
cow
an abandoned
barn.
barn outside of Longcast to sleep in. That's like okay, like I can tell that no one. Yeah, anyways.
And you sleep up above so the rats don't come and sleep, get in your way in the middle of the night. And you wake up the next morning feeling a little bit better. But you also wake up the next morning to the sounds of some people coming in the barn. They don't know you're here. They just open up the barn and they start poking around.
I passed, and it wasn't an abandoned farm.
Oh, it was an abandoned barn, but you're not the only person who's going around checking abandoned barns looking for stuff.
Yeah, I don't have like the hide in shadows skill, but I just try to hide here and be as quiet and as scentless as possible.
Yep. Well, if you're just trying to keep a low profile, then we can just pass this moment. It sounds like you're not trying to figure out who's looking into the barn.
No, I'll climb down when the coast is clear and
then it's done.
Keep on running to Kneecap.
All right. You know that if you follow the coastline, you'll get to Kneecap.
Did I sleep in the barn long enough to gain 1 MP?
You would gain 1 MP per hour of rest when you are perfectly resting. Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right.
Yep. Great.
Do I just have 1 dragon scale that I like cradle and?
Yes, it is your 1 relic. I don't know if you cradle it or maybe you've tied it to your body somehow or you keep it in a pocket. It's kind of up to you where you want to keep your dragon scale. And that's a great question to answer right now. Where do you keep your dragon scale?
It's in a pocket, but it's not going to fall out.
Yeah, it's just in your pocket. That's great. And how big is the dragon scale? Is it like face size? Is it cell phone size? Is it old flip phone sized?
It's like the whole pocket. So, I don't know. Oh.
Big cell phone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But it's flat, right? You can slide coins in underneath it or something.
Yeah. Like a big cell phone.
Yep. And what are we looking at? 20 miles. I can make it to Kneecap today. So I think I just head straight across the plains to Kneecap. What time of year is it?
We started in where was it? We had started in autumn of 1515 in the Age of Iron, and it's been a few months. So I think it is now
months. It was like a right. It was 24 hours. It was 2 weeks.
2 weeks, but plus some indoctrination.
There was indoctrination.
Yeah, we talked about this, Ryan.
Are you trying to give me flashbacks?
We already did the flashbacks. We talked about it.
All right. What was the indoctrination like?
You were told, you learned how the culture worked in this area. You learned who else was here, which wizards were here, which clerics were here, which warlocks were around.
So like, I didn't leave that day. I like it over the course of
a couple of months. You got to figure out. Months.
I've talked with fellow. Okay. Anyways, all right, got it.
All right.
Months of indoctrination.
Months. It is now winter of 1516.
How cold does Erdon get in the winter? It's nice up here, right? Is it snowing?
It doesn't snow in the flatlands. The weather is usually not terrible. Like it's chilly. Your days are usually in the 40s or 50s. It can drop down to below freezing. And sometimes on a really nice winter day, it'll climb into the upper 60s.
Oh, so I am roughing it.
Yeah. But that's why you have the barn. Find yourself some abandoned hay, roll up in it, keep it safe.
Mm-hmm. I need to delete a ration, right?
You need to delete 3 rations. Take 3 days.
3
days. We talked about...
Days, yeah, that's what
days.
I have the herbalism proficiency, but that's not the like surviving and harvesting food to eat, right?
It is not. That's a survival proficiency.
Like these hops make a dank IPA kind of proficiency, right?
Exactly.
Got it. All right. 3 days huffing it. Where else did I sleep?
You had to sleep in the north side of the Bramblewood, and you probably had to sleep in the south side of the Bramblewood too.
I think that's the one where I was saying I wouldn't have, I'm not going to sleep in Kobold Forest. I would
you would have ran until you were exhausted.
To sleep in. And,
yeah.
So that's okay. And what's the situation in Kneecap? Is that a town or is that a...
Kneecap is a
wasteland?
walled town.
Okay.
And the wall has been damaged and destroyed by demons, but it's also been rebuilt in the last period of time. And then it was damaged and destroyed by Mystrian warlords who came through here, and it's being rebuilt once again. So as you approach Kneecap, you can see some banners flying in the distance. It's a series of orange concentric circles with a rectangle stuck in the middle of them all. The strangest flag you've ever seen. No real symbology other than the concentric circles sort of remind you of one of the gods. What's his name? Is it Solt, god of despair?
Concentric circles. I don't have a religion proficiency, so I feel like this is one of the forbidden gods that I definitely did not hear about in
yeah. It's one of the
whatever,
it kind of looks like the flag of one of those weird gods that no one ever really worships. But it's got a square in it, which is definitely weird. None of the gods have any square symbols in their symbology. You're pretty certain. Someone would have said something about it, maybe.
Okay, and the gates are closed.
The gate is open. There are some people coming and going, and you can see in the farmlands
is this
before.
The place? This is where the Dark Knight is supposed to be, right?
He's supposed to be in Dalg Woods, which is just outside.
So I
of
can
this.
head into Kneecap and hopefully find a tavern, sketchy tavern to hang around in and be a Warlock seeking rumors or something in the corner. But I will in Kneecap. I'll head into town if I can just walk through the gate casually, whatever, looking like a peasant, walking like an oppressed peasant. I pull my purple hood over my head and kind of blend in.
Yeah, you walk on in, and a bunch of people are like looking at you and speaking in Eridonian. One person gets the gall to come and like stand up to you as you walk through the gate.
Do they look like a town guard, or do they just look like a...
No, you actually haven't... Like, there were some people with some weapons outside of the town, but they didn't have uniforms. They looked more like mercenaries or thugs than a proper town guard. But one random civilian, an older gentleman, who looked like, maybe like what a boxer would look like once he's aged out, and he's like 75 years old, but he used to be like a real fighter, comes and like crosses his arms and stands in your path and jabbers at you once in Eridonian.
I think I give him an oppressed peasant nod and a grunt. I don't speak the language, and then I just try to like walk past him. Does he like shoulder check me, or I just try to like keep
just trying to...
I don't speak. I don't know what he's saying, so I just give a greeting. Don't make eye contact. Keep walking. Just like
you start to walk past him.
He's trying to call me out, but I don't have any words.
He turns over his shoulder as you walk past him, so now he's sort of facing you again, and he calls out in perfect Mystrian, guys, we got another one. It's about time we round him up and shake him down. Perfect Mystrian, not a single accent. This guy is definitely originally from Mystria. And he thinks that you don't speak the language.
Okay. I think I immediately cast hypnotism.
Ooh.
So initiative?
Yeah, I'm going to give him a surprise check. A 2 is a surprise. So you begin to cast hypnotism.
Somatic, no material components.
Yeah, he just looks at you kind of confused.
I think I have 1d6 creatures.
Then the area becomes susceptible to a suggestion, a brief and reasonable sounding request.
So I think like the 2 closest to me see my eyes, but how many did you say? There was one guy that tried to, but then
he was just kind of shouting to other people vaguely. You don't know who he called to, but he called out in Mystrian, "Hey guys." It's a 30-foot cube.
Yeah. So I guess it's probably maybe it's just him. Maybe
I think it's just him.
Yeah,
you turn.
Bystander catches my. I think my eyes look like fucking snake eyes for a second there, and
Jafar's
eyes. Brief, reasonable sounding suggestion. I'm just like in Mystrian. I say, like not today, buddy, or whatever the equivalent in Mystrian is. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, but what is
like,
the? You got to give him
like,
a suggestion.
Don't mess with me.
Yeah, don't mess with me.
It's not. Yeah, it's not worth it. And I keep walking. I don't know what. Yeah. I don't know how persistent he is, but I cast hypnotism. So I think it's like a channeling, but I think I can break it. And there's like 2 rounds of. I feel like the full text is not here. But anyways, give him a savers spell.
The request must be given after the hypnotism spell is cast. Until that time, the success of the spell is unknown. Note that the subsequent suggestion is not a spell, but simply vocalized urging. Creatures successfully roll their saving throws are not under the influence. Those blah 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 blah.
Is this a different version of hypnotism than?
No, it's standard.
Okay. I'm thinking of hypnotic pattern. Okay,
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So what was the specific reasonable sounding request that you made for him, to him?
Let me pass, kind of. But
perfect.
But I'm assuming that no one else speaks Mystrian, so it's like uttered in Mystrian under my breath as I look him in the eyes with my like I was avoiding eye contact before, but he eventually calls me out, and I turn and I meet his gaze, and it's like, holy shit, those are like snake eye. Like there's no what's the color? I don't know. Anyways.
Yeah, they're kind of swirling, and your head's kind of going back and forth a little bit, and you say, "Let me pass," and then he pauses, and he goes, "On second thought, he speaks Mystrian. Let him go, everyone. It's fine. Let him go."
Okay.
And as you turn back away from him towards the inside of town, you can see that there is a group of 3 people who have the clubs in their hands, and they were about to raise them, and they just lower the clubs and part and let you pass.
I keep my head down, hood up, and try to find a tavern.
Easy
buy a drink
peasy.
for a silver and no words.
Yeah.
But, we'll see what my options are. How many taverns are there on this main street? What's the?
There are not a lot, but you do find one, and you can come on into it. And
shall we take a break and?
Yes, we'll take a break.
Fill our drinks and pick it up on this tavern on the other side.
That's exactly what we're gonna do. See you then. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Kneecap. We are in this tavern in this rundown city, and the first thing you notice as you're here is that the bartender speaks Mystrian, and the patrons are talking in Mystrian, and there's a couple of folks who are speaking in Eridonian, but like the majority of the folks here are actually Mystrian people.
Okay. Then I guess I walked in and I'm surprised to be able to order a drink in Mystrian and lay a silver on the table and
and the bartender
probably not. Yeah, okay.
When you order in perfect Mystrian, the bartender, slides you the drink, slides you back change because you put down a silver. They give you back 5 copper, and they say, "Hey, you're new here. When'd you arrive?"
Oh, yeah, just recently. I mean, I guess I'm surprised that he even speaks my language.
Perfectly. You
I think I just do like a cheers and is it customary to leave a tip, or do you just take your 5?
No tips.
How much does a beer cost? I don't even know.
5 copper.
Discreet. 5.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they give you 5 copper back when you put your silver down.
Is there a dark table in a corner? What's the bar like? Are the windows? Or is it just like a seedy underground tavern?
It's ground floor. There are holes in the walls for windows, and those holes have like 1x6 boards across them, so that there's only like little slats of light that come through, so you can't go in and out the windows. There's a bunch of tables scattered across the place. There's a fireplace which is not lit, even though it's quite late in the day. So the whole place is dark and seedy, and there is no guards on the door. There are no guards on the door, but you notice the other patrons are equipped with clubs, all of them.
Everyone just carries a club these days?
Yeah, some of them have nails in them too.
Is that for fighting off zombies? Oh God. Okay, where? Anyways, I think I don't even. I send the change back and say, oh, whatever, some food and some food if you got it, and
Yeah.
and then I nod towards hopefully a dark corner table by myself, or
Yeah, you find a dark corner table by yourself. And then a few minutes later,
wait for my.
a goblin will come out with a ceramic plate, and on that ceramic plate is like a chicken thigh, a turkey thigh, I should say, and they hand you the turkey thigh, and then they skedaddle back to the kitchen.
Yeah. I thank him quietly in Goblin. Where are we in Mystria? What's going on here? Okay, but anyways, I hide out in the shadows of the corner and listen for rumors about whatever, the dark night of the Dalg Wood. Is that what I heard? I don't know. I hang out here, and if more I eat my dinner and I order another drink, so I guess I can shell out more. I can shell out another silver, and I listen, and I guess most of these people speak my language. I was expecting more of a, I don't know.
Yeah,
behind enemy lines kind of situation, but this is easy.
Yeah. People are just sort of talking about their days and the things that they saw and the people they met. They're just kind of socializing in a pretty ordinary way. Why don't you give me
I'll fail a Christmas check for you.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, let's pass.
All right. One thing stands out to you in the conversations over the course of a few hours. You hear 3 different groups of people talking about someone named Celeste. It must be someone important in this town, but you don't know who it is yet. You're not close enough to any of these tables to really hear full conversations, but you do hear the name Celeste said a few times.
First name, that's enough. Like,
that's weird.
Celebrity status.
Yeah.
But
probably a local singer, maybe, or
or the Dark Knight.
Or the Dark Knight.
It's not like a Cal Celeste. Is that would be the or you'd hear like
that would be the term
if
for
it's the same person. Like you would have heard they were referred to as like some title of nobility or.
No, this is not a noble. Yeah, I got a couple hours. I need to rest, right? Does this place have rooms, or do I need to find a different? Yeah, you asked the barkeep if this place has rooms. I take it.
Yeah, if there's like obviously like a second floor with rooms for rent or something like that. Yeah, I'll eventually probably rest here. I think I'm like I just spent the day jogging across the plains from Lancaster, right? So I think I rest in Kneecap and listen for rumors as a sketchy warlock in the shadowy corner of the bar. I mean, I don't know. Let me keep rolling those low charisma checks.
Well, you go to ask for a room, and the barkeep kind of cocks his head at you for a moment. And he's like, they didn't give you one? And he waits for your response. It's a weird question. They didn't give you a room? How does that mean?
Like, I'm just like, I got coin. I don't know, what's the... we have any vacancies?
He shrugs.
How do you say that? We're talking Mystrian, right?
Yeah. 3 silver.
Yeah, I don't even. I like silver. Are you kidding me? I just like keep sliding. So yeah, I slide 3 silver coins across the table, and I probably was. So I think it's probably more like 4. So I had 9. I'm gonna drop that because we had talked about another whatever dinner and yada yada. So
yeah.
I had dinner and another round, and then I slide 3 across to get a room for the night and sink in. And I think, I could, we'll see. I'll get bed and breakfast, and at some point I'll rest. I'll snuggle my dragon scale and gain back some MP. And come down for breakfast. They got fried spiced potatoes?
Yeah, they got fried spiced potatoes. You come down for the morning, you can smell the taters in the air. But when you come down, someone's waiting for you here. There's a person sitting at the bar with their back and their elbows on the bar. And when you come down, the barkeep like nudges them and points towards you. And they start walking towards you. Phoenix, there's this unknown person. Let me describe them for you.
Armed and armored, or
It's a tall young woman. She's got to be late teens, early 20s, but she's also like 6'3", and she's got a short sword at her side. She's got, boots that come up to the mid knee. She's got leather armor on. She's got a pair of small hoop earrings in each ear. Like, she looks not like these people who are carrying clubs. She looks like she's got some level of status or equipment. And as you come down from the stairs, she walks over in your direction and says, "Ho there, newfound friend. Where are you from?"
what language is he speaking?
She's speaking Mystrian, perfect Mystrian.
The Connish Highlands or thereabout, and I guess I go to, yeah. Is she the only one here, or is like
no? There's a couple other folks around.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
And what's the? It's not the bartender. The whatever
This woman.
Whoever no whoever owns the place. Yeah, I expect that they'll have like breakfast cooking and
yeah, you can smell the breakfast cooking, and there's people here. Yeah, but she like
I don't know, what do they call it?
Oh, this place is too fancy for a maitre d'. But she meets you like as you're coming down the stairs, heading into the room, and she like stops to talk to you in the middle of the floor. Are you walking past her? Are you stopping to talk to her? What's your vibe?
Trying to mind my business and have some breakfast, and yeah.
All right. Yeah, you kind of
shrug her off, I guess.
Yeah. You shrug her off. You go sit down. You make the sign for like, I want some breakfast over here. Bartender gives you the sign of like, I got you.
Does she like follow me and sit down, I guess, or does she?
Yep. She follows you and sits down at the table. Pulls out the chair and kind of turns it backwards and sits. Like mounting it forwards. The back of the chair is in front of her. She says, I don't think I got your name, friend. I'm Celeste. This is my village.
It's Phoenix, I say, and I extend a hand across the table. Is the shaking hands the Mystrian custom?
Yeah, it is. She'll shake your hand.
Okay.
How'd you make your way here? Or maybe I should ask, why are you here? I didn't bring you. I remember ordering you.
I'm afraid I'm not sure what you mean. I walked and
well, what's your business?
There was a boat
here?
Involved, but
I mean, who comes to Kneecap from Mystria for no real reason?
You did.
I got a reason to be here. There's all sorts of stuff here. All sorts of stuff left behind by one person or another. All sorts of stuff free of the long reach of those.
I wish I had charm person right now. Can't believe I failed
forest
that.
People. This is a great land of opportunity. Plenty of goblin slaves. Plenty of hungry mouths willing to do whatever it takes to be fed.
Is she's sitting down? Can I? I don't know. My perception's 6. What are my chances? But
your one eye.
Is she? Yeah. She's not armored, right?
Leather.
Okay. Yeah. What are you, the sheriff? I'd like look her up and down, try to gauge whether she.
She chuckles a few times. Well, I think the title Lord is a little bit bullshit. I wasn't divinely appointed. Warlord is a kind of a nice term, but I don't really like to make war, you know? I like to call this place my town. And we don't really get a lot of miscreants. Who'd you serve with during the war? You here to make some money? Are you running from someone? Are you looking for work?
I glower at her through my bad eye, and I burned during the war, and try to, I don't know, shrug her off.
Yeah.
Some disgruntled veteran drinking beer for breakfast.
She gets it. You know, a single person walking all the way to Kneecap from Mystria, not impossible, but it's a little unusual. I don't see much in the way of weapons aside from that sickle at your side. She says, like, giving you the up and down, inspecting you like you're like a child that she's like, you know, seeing if your clothes fit, sort of like, what's going on with this guy? No? You just here on business? Pleasure? You got some money? It's all right. She pats you on the shoulder. I've seen a lot of men who can't talk after what happened. Why don't you rest for a couple of days? I'll pay you a visit once you're more well seated. You didn't quite give me your name, but you have a nice day there, friend. She'll pat you on the shoulder a few times. Head over to the bartender, put a few coins on the table, and say loudly enough that you can hear, like, cover his meals on me, and step out of the tavern.
Yeah, I did give her my name, by the way. Like, that was like the first line.
You did? You said Phoenix?
Yeah, shook her hand. Yeah, I said Phoenix. I shook her hand.
Yep.
I think she introduced herself first. She was Celeste. Yeah. And I heard the rumors about her. What I didn't hear anything about since I've been here is this Dark Knight that I was summoned for. So, is she the Dark Knight? That's what I was like looking her up and down. Like, that's what I was like, Sheriff? Like, she didn't look like a knight. Leather armor. She had a sword, right?
Yeah, but it's a short sword. You know,
her time. It sounds like a knight. Is she the Dark Knight? Can I I can't like detect evil like a paladin, right?
No.
Spells. I failed detect magic, right?
Yeah.
Detect alignments like way higher. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm looking for a Dark Knight, and I'm trying to like blend in at the local inn, whatever we got at the seedy tavern downstairs that feeds me my potatoes and beer, and I hide out for. Whatever. Yeah.
Well, how long do you want to hide out for? She said she'd come back and visit you in a few days. You know that the Dark Knight is supposed to be in the Dalg Wood, which is...
Yeah, I think once I'm, like, rested and breakfast, I wander around the countryside, I guess. Like a... whatever. Like a hobo peasant looking for work. And see the lay of the land.
Yeah. In the nice bright light of day, you can see that there is a small little caravan of 6 carts coming northward towards the town. They're a few miles off, but they're kicking up enough dust in the air.
I walk towards them and like step politely out of their way as they pass, and then perception check the F out of them.
Yeah, these carts are driven by goblins. There's 3 on.
Hold on. Okay, I use my good eye. I look so. I politely step out of their way and see all the secrets the goblins have to hide.
Yeah, you can see that there's 3 goblins on each of these 6 carts, and there are. I probably should have led with this. The carts have 2 ogres in the group. At the front of the carts, 2 ogres at the back, 6 carts in between with 3 goblins on each cart. And the carts are just pulled by donkeys. And it looks like they're just driving to Kneecap. And the goblins are like squinting their eyes against the morning sun. It's very painful and uncomfortable. You know, they're nocturnal creatures. They don't like the sunlight.
Am I used to this in Mystria? Ogres? Is that a...
There were ogres that used to work for the dragon.
Yeah,
and
I politely stepped the F out of their way and hope not to draw aggro over here.
Yep, they don't bother
Bow
you.
my
They don't
head,
give a shit.
yes, can clear the path so they can drive their carts by.
Mm-hmm.
Nod and don't make eye contact, and you
They
just
just
keep
let
walking.
you go. Yeah, they let you go.
How many are we say? Two? With
Two in the
carts full of
front.
goblins?
2 in the front, 2 in the back.
I thought
The carts have actually, you did roll a 20. You can see into the carts. The carts have a whole bunch of broken rocks in them. And with the 20, I'll say that you can see that they're broken rocks that have like shiny sections to them.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not a miner, but
Yep. But it definitely sounds like something being hauled from a strip mine, perhaps. Do you wait? Do you follow the carts to town? Do you retrace the cart trails back into the woods?
what time? I think it's still early morning, right? No, I think I
Uh-huh.
keep walking to see where they came from. Was
Yeah.
this strip mine was the original accusation? But they were
Yeah.
like, or that was a geographic feature in the
Mm-hmm.
in the
It was
region.
located near or at a strip mine, so you can follow the wagon trails and the ogre footprints until you hit the edge of the woods. And the woods are pretty light. You know, there's lots of... They're not so thick that you would have trouble seeing in them. But the ruts of the wagons are pretty clear as they head into the woods. No sign of creatures. There's some birds, some rabbits, that sort of thing, but no goblins, no ogres, no humans. But you're at the edge of the woods finally. Do you go in?
Yeah, if it's still daytime.
Mhm.
Yeah, go poking around.
Yeah.
Is there a road, or is this just like
A well-worn
out in
trail.
plains? Okay. Is this like the trail, or is there like a network of
There's a lot of
and
trails.
smaller trails and
Yeah.
game trails?
Yeah, there's lots of trails that crisscross, but these have wagon ruts that go through them, and the others don't.
Yeah, and one deep set of wagon ruts, like some dark knights running ore
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
on the on the regular.
Yeah. You get a little bit further into the woods when you hear the familiar sound of goblins. And I believe you speak goblin, right? You speak the language of your oppressors.
Oh.
And you can hear them. They're chattering to themselves. They're talking about Martin Flatears. Now, Martin Flatears is the hottest goblin around. These female goblins are talking about the backside of him and how flat it is, and those ears and how that inside of the ear where it's kind of like weird and bulgy. This guy's got flat ears and a flat ass, and these female goblins are, they're giving him the what do you call it? Not the dressing down.
Is Martin Flatears here, or is they're gossiping about it? They're talking about him behind his.
They're gossiping about him behind his
yeah.
back, but it's not gossip. It's like praise. It's like, oh my God, did you see
Sure,
him?
sure.
He is. I would fuck a human to be with Martin Flatears. Oh my God, he's the hottest the hottest goblin around. It seems like he's got a little fan club. Yeah, they are. That's the chatter of goblins that you hear as you head into the woods, and they're coming. You can pinpoint the sounds roughly. They're from down the road a little ways.
Can I if I hear them? Let's roll like surprise or something. I'd like if I can hear them before, or maybe oppose perception checks that I can fail. Like if I hear them before they hear me, I will try to avoid them in the woods. But...
Perfect. Yeah, so you can make a hide of some kind.
Yeah.
You kill your perception check.
So I don't surprise. So I I don't have any hide skill, but I try to
Yeah.
If I'm hearing goblin, this like I can't like that's a weird thing. Yeah.
You're hearing goblin. You can make yourself scarce, find a bush or a tree or something like that, hide behind it. And sure enough, you see a group of 6 goblins. They've got a mix of clubs and short swords. And it looks like they're just doing a standard goblin patrol. You've seen these patrols 1,000 times in your life. And they're just walking the forest, doing the classic goblin perimeter check where they just, walk in a circle.
Talking about a fucking goblin flat ears. What's his name?
Martin Flat Ears.
Martin.
Yeah, the sexiest goblin with that flat butt and those flat ears and the big knuckles. Oh my God. This is not
the goblin vocabulary I expected to have with this proficiency.
Yeah.
But I'll take what I can get.
No one expects the goblins to be named Martin. Mm-hmm. But you can.
What I was referring to, but sure.
you can hide as the patrol of 6 goblins walks past. Content
it's still
that
daylight, right? So they're like,
yeah, they've got penalties for seeing in the daylight.
Mm-hmm.
Done. They move on past. Are you following them? Or are you going down the trail more?
No, I think I keep walking along this wagon route,
Yeah.
but like that time I jumped off the path to avoid Martin Flattier's gossip. If I hear any ogres coming, I'll hide as well. Ogres are slow, right?
9 movement speed, I think.
Okay.
They lumber. Yeah, you keep heading down the road, and pretty soon you hear the familiar sound of a whip cracking in the distance.
And it's woods, and it's probably getting later in the afternoon. So
let's see. You're only 8 miles away. It's taken you less than 3 hours to walk this distance. So it's still AM.
Okay.
Yeah.
I sneak forward. If I sense anyone, I think I want to like book it and relocate. And hope they think I was just like a fucking squirrel in the bushes or something.
Yeah.
This isn't really my area of expertise, but I attempt to stealth my way forward.
All right. Give me your very finest dexterity check, sir.
I ain't got one of those. Okay, I do have a dexterity stat. It's 12. It's not that bad. I rolled my stats straight down the line, but
it's close. It's so close. Yeah. All right. You're making your way through the forest along the trail. You find that in some sections of the Dalg Wood here, it's a little bit damp. Maybe you're near the water table. Maybe it rained recently. Maybe there's just a bit of a low spot in the ground. And you find yourself sort of slopping through some muck. But once beyond the muck, you come to a slight rise. And at the top of the rise there, standing guard on the trail is an ogre. And I'm going to give the ogre a good old-fashioned perception check as he's standing around. But with a roll like that, what is the ogre's perception? Because his die roll is bad, but maybe he's got excellent perception. Maybe he's the most observant. Oh, no. No, he's not an observant ogre. The ogre's there, standing on a ridge. He's got a hand in his loincloth as he's scratching his butt. Brings it up and smells it a few times, and then kind of just looks around and starts rubbing his back against a tree. And you can hear the sound of whips.
How many hit dice does ogre have? I don't know.
3D8?
I don't think I know that, do I?
48? 3D8 or 4D8? A few? $4D8 plus 1.
Oh. Okay. It's just one ogre?
Just one.
How far away do I notice him?
150 feet.
150. Okay, I think I'm gonna try to sneak closer and sleep him. It's a die roll to see if I can catch him. But I'll give it a shot. So I try to cast it. My range is 30 yards, so I've got to like scurry closer behind trees or whatever and cast the spell. So maybe he gets another shot to notice me.
Yeah, I'll give him another shot to notice you.
Another perception check or something. I don't know any skills here. I don't know.
Oh, natural 20. You start scurrying forward.
He sees me. I guess roll for initiative at that point.
Yeah, right? He spots you. He looks at you a little bit like there's a person He's got that dumb ogre look on his
9
face.
ain't good, but ogres are slowish.
Yeah. Slow ogres.
All right. Then 2d4 is the number of hit die that I can affect.
You want to roll high?
He'll be within range by the time I cast the spell? Is that?
Yeah, because you scamper forward and, you know.
Oh, that's bad. So he's got more than 3 hit die.
Yeah.
He's unaffected.
You bring out the sand.
Within range, right?
You toss it in the air. You speak the words. The ogre blinks at you a couple of times.
Does he have a weapon?
Oh yeah, he's got like a big, big club that's the size of a goblin. And the ogre just starts thumping towards you like bump, 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 and he points a finger in your direction and he says in ogre something, but I don't think you speak ogre.
Strand orc, goblin, Dirkissian. I do not speak ogre.
Yeah. Well, he barks something at you in ogre, and you don't respond immediately. And so he switches to Mistrian, because the ogre also speaks Mistrian. And he says, "You there! Who are you?" As he closes the gap towards you, and you're like, "Come on, sleep spell, take effect, take effect."
I turn and run. So I pocket sand, and he is unaffected, and I turn around and I run, and I think I have a higher movement rate, so I think
you can just run.
Run into the plains. And,
yep. You leave the ogre in the dust, make your way back into the plains. It's approaching noon by the time you get back out.
I get clear of the forest or whatever, and then have a snack, and I don't know what time of day it is.
About noon.
Okay, then I think I'll keep circling this direction.
Oh.
And
okay.
East into the flatlands, and then maybe try to circle around from the other side.
All right, I'm just looking for my lovely little encounter table over here.
Encounters.
Yeah. Well, what do we run into in the flatlands? Here we go. Well, that's not right. This is the wrong encounter table. Here we go. Yeah, you're walking through the plains, and the first thing you see is a small herd of elephants. There's maybe like 8 of them. You can spot them from miles away because, elephants are pretty large.
That's majestic. There are elephants out here. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Wow. I admire the elephants in the twilight, and continue on my merry way.
Yep. But, you can just ignore them, and you can circle around the Dalg Woods. What are you looking for?
I think I'm gonna head back into the woods from the other
from another angle.
I'm looking for a strip mine where ogres are oppressing slaves and making them mine who knows what.
Yeah, well, the Dalg Woods are big, right? You're looking at something that's 15 miles by 12 miles, so it's a big patch. I don't know how you're going to find it just by walking through them, but let's roll some dice.
I walk until my heart is no longer pumping from the adrenaline of the ogre encounter, right? So I run, I get clear of the trees, and I make sure he didn't follow me, and then I circle around to the east until I'm calm again. So I don't know, a few miles, and the sun starts to set, and then...
All right. And we go back into the woods at night, it sounds like. You're going in when the sun is setting?
I got a light spell, but I don't have much spent a spell. I'll keep going.
All right.
I'll creep into the Dalg Wood in the dark.
Okay. Let's see. Heading into the Dalg Woods. Late at night. Yeah. As the sun begins to set. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, what's the lunar cycle or whatever? How dark is it at night?
Roll me a d28. We haven't established what day of the week it is. It is Sunday the 7th. It is a half moon. But it's the wrong half moon because it's before the full. It's the half moon before the full moon. So the half moon is up during the day, and so at nighttime there's no stars right now. In the early night. So it's moonless night. It's dark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. But I think I just creep in.
Well, you know, this is actually helpful to you because there's not much in the way of light, and since it's the middle of winter, there's also not really much in the way of starlight. So that means that the light in the forest, that shining thing off in the distance, is a beacon to you, letting you know exactly where the civilized people in these woods are. And there, sure enough, is some shining lights coming from a section of the forest. You can definitely make your way there.
Yeah, I go like whatever, half or a third movement rate, so I don't trip over a rock and step on a goblin. But
All right. Well, we are coming up on pretty late in the evening. I don't know how much time you have, Ryan, but I don't know if we got time to get into any big encounters. Do you have? Do you have a bedtime?
No.
You got time for an encounter?
All this Warlock, this whole Warlock campaign, it's the encounters and the commitment. And yeah, let's do. Yeah, we can do another hour. Is that
all right? That's fine with me. Perfect.
Yeah, should we take
a
break and come back for one more
short break? Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Dicing with Death. We're heading into the Dalg Woods at night. We're coming across this strip mine, and we're going to be able to be finding it because of the light coming from nearby. It's a whole series of lanterns hung up on tall posts, probably just trees that have had their branches stripped, really, in these woods in the middle of the night. And you can see it from a good distance, a nice good distance. And you can see silhouetted by the lanterns that are around this, big pit. The pit's huge. Are large, hulking, ogre-like shapes. What would you like to do? Would you like to approach the large, hulking, ogre-like shapes in the dead of night when they're surrounded by lanterns? Or are you going to run away? Or make a distraction? What's the game plan when you see the figures?
low on mana? There's two of them? I can
there's a bunch of
one
them.
ogre, but two is never going to happen.
Yeah. I mean, there's a bunch. You see maybe 20 lights, and there's probably like 5 ogres that are they're not all together, but there's one on this side of the pit, there's one on that side, one on that side, 2 way over there. The pit's big. It's got to be maybe like 1,000 feet across or so.
Are the ogres resting, or are they guarding?
They look like they're guarding. They're standing on their feet. Maybe one of them's leaning against a tree, and they have clubs in their hands, but the hands are down.
Yeah, after this I'm out. This is way above my pay grade. I think I'd turn around and run back to Kneecap.
All right.
Make it there in the wee hours in the morning.
Yeah, you'll get back to Kneecap. It'll be quite late. I got to roll one more encounter check because we are traveling in the woods late at night, and there's a non-zero chance that something comes and gets you. Oh, it's those fucking elephants again. Wow. Excellent. There's not a high chance of running into elephants, but you do it twice in a day.
We gotta be sleeping, right? It's the same herd.
It's got to be the same herd.
Night. They're resting in some gully over there.
Yep. But you get back to town. You can head back to your inn. Okay. You can conk out. And
I would like to intercept one of those carts and see what they're shipping from the Dalg Wood. But that sounds like after resting in the inn for another night.
That sounds like a morning plan. So you go to sleep. You wake up in the morning. You can come down, get your food. Town is just
gain my MP right every night.
Yeah, as long as you get decent rest and you've got your relic near you.
That's even easier than I realized. I thought I was going to be like venturing forth and could only recover MP at the lair. Sorry, the house.
Yeah.
The house.
Well, it's easy now, but once you hit higher levels, you'll be regenning a lot less MP.
Yeah.
You know. I mean, you'll be regenerating the same amount, but you'll be burning through enough a day that it's not a good rate. Anyway, you're back in Kneecap. You wake up in the morning. The town is not great.
What is it like?
What is? It looks like it's had war in it. You know, there's some buildings that have been burned. There's some other things that have been knocked down. There's like stones and useful materials have been pulled out of abandoned buildings. Like doors have just been taken off so someone can use that door, or like signposts have been removed. The good fence posts have been taken from places and the bad ones left. So everything's just in a sort of like state of decay and active state of recycling or reusing, you know? No one's bothered to clean up the streets, so like the rubbled buildings have just like shit's just been pushed far enough out of the way that you can walk around it, but no one's bothered to like pile it up nice and neatly. The walls are in a state of repair. There's like one gate that's functioning. There's this weird flag with these concentric orange circles in it flying from inside the town. Everyone's speaking Mystrian, even though you're in Eridon. There's some goblins walking around, and they're clearly like enslaved goblins walking around. It feels just like the old Mystria, back when Scoria was in charge, not that long ago. Feels like, what is this? What is your thoughts on why this place is?
It feels like gentrification. I don't know. I rest at the end, and then I want to intercept one of those carts full of ore and figure out what it is they're mining out there.
Great.
But I guess I rest. I recover my MP. I eat my potatoes for breakfast, and
yeah. So how do you intercept one of these carts?
Unless something else happens, or I bump into whatever Dark Knights or Celeste or an ogre patrol. I think I rest up and then I head out east and try to like watch the road or walk along the road.
Yeah.
And look out for another set of wagons, unless they're like obviously like in Kneecap dumping their load off.
That plan works pretty well. You head outside the city, you just wait, and sure enough, a couple hours later, there comes a wagon down the road. You see it off in the distance. It's got 2 ogres in the front of it. It's got 6 carts. It's got 2 ogres in the back of it. Looks like there's a bunch of goblins. Yeah. What are you gonna do? And why did they send the level 1 Warlock with 2 HP to do this job? That's the real question.
Do I get XP for learning those spells, or do I have to cast them?
You do get XP for learning them. You do get XP for casting them in useful situations.
Okay. And do I get XP for joining the cult?
That was your level 1.
Can't handle 4 ogres, but I would like to know what they're slow. I hide in the plains and crouch behind some grass and like watch them and follow them into Kneecap. and try to like catch them at the drop site. So I think I'm faster than they're moving. So I like hope that they don't notice me as I scurry off into the grass and head back to Kneecap, I guess, and try to intercept them on the other side. I don't know if there's a...
Yeah, you hurry into the grass, you lay low because the grasses are tall here in the flatlands. Eventually the carts go past you, you pop your head up, you follow them in, they head in, you can trail them from a ways. They'll go in through the one gate. The gate is just open. There's not really any guards on it or anything. You can follow in from behind and watch them go through the city, and they head all the way towards the far back side of the city, like near where the port would be, near where that switchback staircase would be. Right up.
Yeah, right, because there is potentially there is a dock at the base of the canal here, right?
Yeah, and there's a little fortress over here made out of it was originally a stone building that people have added onto with wooden extensions. You know how like the dojo had the kitchen that was clearly like a front porch. It's that same sort of vibe where there's like a building and they added on to the building and then someone put up a wall around it. It's this really hodgepodge.
No one gets that reference.
It's meant for you. It's meant for you, Ryan. I don't care. It's not meant for anyone else. And it's got the flag, that orange concentric ring flag, high in the sky. And that's where these wagons go.
Yeah,
they
I
show
think
up.
I like scurry ahead and like watch them. Like, do they have to go down switchbacks or do they go down?
No,
like
they get up to this building, and then they take a small turn, and there's like an industrial smelting plant here that's like spewing out nasty smelling sulfurous fumes, and they just dump these rocks in a pile, and you can see near this area there's just goblins shoveling charcoal into a big furnace, and there's other goblins working up top, like breaking big rocks into small rocks and then pushing them into these what do you call them, not catalysts but furnace, yeah, but they
got a blast furnace going out here in the...
Maybe not quite a blast furnace. They can't melt it at that high temperature, right? A cylinder. There's a term for the cylinder that you melt your ore in.
Crucible?
That's the word, a crucible. Thank you. Yeah, so these carts come over, they dump off the stuff, and then they turn around and they head back down out towards the edge of town. But you're here looking at this fortress and this smelting station.
This is just down by is this across the canal at Dawngate, or is this down at the base of the...
It's in Kneecap proper.
Okay, so it's at the base of the...
It's in the city. It's in the town. It's not at the base. It's at the top.
Oh. Well, turn around. I thought it was like chasing these down to the docks to ship somewhere. No. They're taking this into Kneecap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there's a town. Like there's a little fort in here. And then next to the fort is a place where the smelting is done. There's like a pile of rocks over here too.
That's way bigger than the town, Neal. How did I not see this when I first walked in?
Yep. So, are you going to follow the ore? Are you going to follow the workers? Are you going to go into the building? What are you going to do here?
Yes, I just watch from the street. Like, what? So what am I seeing? Like the ogres take this. They have like what? 3 carts?
6 carts.
And 6 carts?
6 carts.
A couple goblins each.
Yeah.
And they take this into. Is it like a?
They just dump it in the street.
Is it walled, or?
Yeah, there's a walled compound, and then there's a furnace nearby inside of a hut that's manned by goblins, and the goblins are smelting.
I'm sure they're just like spewing, whatever, steam, polluted steam.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but also like all of the sulfurs and all of the other materials that are like broken down in the rocks and released as gases, and the charcoal is just pumping out into the air. And it's fine in small amounts, but in large amounts, it's kind of a mess. Yep. And the water, the runoff from all of this stuff, it just goes over the cliff and down into the Grand Canal. You know, no concern for environment over here. There's no EPA in Eridon. It's a true liberated place, free from all sorts of regulation and air pollution laws.
What do you...
Yeah, what do you do, Phoenix?
What do you do here?
You've got spells, but you don't want to start any shit. There's the fortress. There's goblin smelting ore, and the ore is coming from the Dalg Wood. And it's right across the canal from
Who's mining it, I think is my question now. So I need to sneak out back into the Dalg Wood. I was curious what kind of ore, what they were smelting, but I think that's beyond me.
Yeah, agriculture proficiency doesn't cover that.
Yeah.
Okay. Back out to the woods tonight?
I think so. I think during the day, and try to like slip past a sleepy ogre that's by himself.
All right.
My way in, and try to like, I don't know, find who their slave miners are and probably free them. But I guess we're doing once more into the Dalg Wood. Roll those encounter checks and.
Well, you head back towards the exit of town. When you come across, because you've been sitting watching the furnace for a little while, you come across all of those carts with the ogres and the goblins and the donkeys, but they've stopped right next to a tavern, an inn, and they've gone inside.
Has been here?
Yeah, it's one of the inns in town. You know, it's a kind of a rundown place, but there's more. It's in town.
Is this first thing in the morning or something?
No. You've just left. You've watched the. You watched them dump the ore for a while.
Okay.
You pondered what was going on. You were leaving town the same day when you come across these carts.
Okay. Outside of town?
In town. In town.
Are the goblins and orcs around?
They've just gone inside the tavern, leaving their carts outside, blankets and tarps and everything.
What animals pull the carts?
Donkeys. Sad donkeys. Sad, thin donkeys. The donkeys are tied up. Yeah.
I have animal handling. Yeah,
I
totally slip up to their cart and I calm the donkeys and I don't know. I don't feed them my rations, but there's probably a way to calm a donkey with.
You got animal handling. Yeah.
Yeah, scratch them on the chin. I'm sorry, starving donkey, but and I would like to peek under like the tarp or whatever's in the trunk of the carts.
They're empty now. They've dumped off the ore. They're just empty carts.
Can I like finger swipe the bottom of the cart and see like what the dust of whatever they've got is? I mean, this is not my
it's sort of
my
a
specialty, but I can tell that it's not an herb, right?
That's correct. It is not an herb.
It's not a beer.
That's not beer. It's not a spice.
Swimming, it's not a lake.
Not a lake.
All right, agriculture, it's definitely not a plant.
Nope.
So yeah.
And it's also not weather. Yeah.
But it's not mithril, it's not gold.
I mean, it's mostly just rock. It's gray
iron,
rock.
Right? It couldn't be iron. You said they didn't have a blast furnace, so it's just fucking a bronze?
Copper, tin, maybe it's lead. Who knows? It's one of those base metals.
Okay.
Yep. Well, what are you gonna do? You leave. You wait for the. You said you wanted to go to the Dalg Wood, so you going now?
I was planning on going in there and seeing what, but yeah, I'm here for a dark night. And I can't figure. I'm thinking they're the ones out in the woods, but the woods are haunted. I don't know. I chill at the tavern and try to get my bearings.
Well, you
Can
chill
I
at the
ask
tavern.
someone about a dark night in the Dalg Wood? Hopefully, like someone low stakes socially, like the tavern drunk or someone like that, right? Like, is there someone I've seen here a few nights that I know is not gonna?
This is a different tavern than the one that you've been staying in.
Oh, there's more taverns.
Yeah.
Cool.
And this one is like mostly goblins and ogres, and there's a few humans around, so you can talk to a human.
Are orcs not in this? It's
no,
just goblins and ogres.
There's no orcs here, sadly.
Okay.
That's not.
Give me a second, but I want you to tell me about what a goblin tavern is about.
I'm just gonna go to break and we'll be back in just a moment. Nope, never mind.
All right.
So the
Goblin Tavern.
Goblin Tavern. There's these low
is there a
tables.
sign or a name?
Yeah, you are literate, I think.
I
right?
am literate, but are goblins?
There is a sign out front written in Eridonian, and you can sound it out, but it doesn't mean anything to you because this is just a repurposed Eridonian tavern. No idea what it says. Different language. But when you step inside, there is a picture of beer, a beer stein with stuff pouring out of it. Yeah.
Not a goblet.
Not a goblet. Stein. Yeah. Inside, there are some low tables that are goblin-sized, and there's a bar with some small chairs in front of it where the ogres have sat themselves. They've like squeezed into this building. The door frame's a little bit broken out and bulged out all over the place. Clear signs that large creatures have been entering it. And the ogres take up most of the space in the tavern around and near the bar, and they kind of just like fill out the space. But off the backside, there's some low tables for goblins, and then there's a couple of like high top tables around which you see a few humans. And then there's a bartender and a bunch of goblin servants.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Goblins and humans and ogres all coexisting.
Oh my.
How are the ogres just crouched in here? Or is there like an old stage or something there?
They're crouched, you know. They're just sitting on their butts with their knees up, and they're still really tall, and they just take up so much space. You stand in the doorway for a moment. The bartender gives you a wave.
Okay. This is a new. Oh, this okay.
That's the new tavern.
I slip in. I get a drink, and
yep. You pay your 5 copper. You get a drink. Do you want to sit with the ogres, the goblins, or the humans?
Why you gotta make it about species?
That's true. Do you want to sit with the the people you don't understand, or the people who sit at the table who it's uncomfortable to sit at, or the people who sit at the table that you can sit at comfortably?
I talk to the goblins, will I immediately be ostracized by the humans here? But this is a new tavern.
Yeah, do it. Go talk to those goblins. See what happens.
I think I sit by myself near the goblins, if that's possible.
Oh yeah, the goblins are talking up a storm. They're so
and I
glad
make it
to
look
be
like
done.
I'm just going to sit by myself and whatever.
Yeah, you sit by yourself.
It's day, right? What time of day is it?
Almost afternoon.
Okay.
Yeah, the goblins are talking up in their language about like how glad they are to be done with work for the day and how fucking annoying it is, you know, having to stay up until this hour. Can you believe they make us do that? It's way too early in the morning, or way too late in the morning to be awake. Thank God there's ale at the end of the road. They're just griping about their job. But why don't you give me a? Oh yeah, go ahead.
How do you pay for
beer here. I'd like to order the
Copper?
goblins around discreetly, but I don't like. You pay? Did they make the goblins pay up front, or is there like a tab? Picture for the table, is that like, are there waiters, or is it just...
There are goblin waiters. Each of the tables that the goblins are at has a big pitcher, and they have small cups. You didn't see them pay because they got here before you, so you're not sure how they pay, but they do have big pitchers, and if you wanted, you could probably go get one.
No, I was thinking to treat them, and yeah, buy them around and say that I'm looking for the Dark Knight, and see if that gets me anywhere. But
yeah,
that might be a bit too forward.
You get you buy the goblins a pitcher of beer. You pay a couple silver for it. You set it down at one of the goblin tables. You ask, "Hey, does anyone know anything about a Dark Knight?" And one of the goblins
it's a little more
immediately...
discreet than that. I think I like take a seat in the human-sized seat like next to it and look like I'm chilling, enjoying my beer to the but have a discreet side conversation as either me or whatever
Yeah. Well, the goblin will look up at you and be like, "Kelakana?"
Kelakana? Is that her name?
Yep. I mean, shouldn't you know who you're working for, sir? Are you new here? You just a fucking stranger walking into... Oh, buddy, you're in so much trouble. Look alone to this guy.
Wait, what?
The goblins kind of look over at you.
I guess I'm...
Oh, man.
The goblin. I sit down at their little goblin-sized table, and hopefully they'll tell me what I'm in for.
Oh, man. What have you walked in? How, are you Mystrian? You speak the language, it sounds like. At least you speak goblin. Oh, well.
Hold on. Get me up to speed. Who's Kelakana? And I start pouring from the pitcher to everyone's glass. And
Kelakana. Yeah, she's the Dark Knight. That's just exactly what you said. Yep.
And they're using the goblin word for like she's got black armor, or like she's
dark as in
Verasi.
It has like connotations of like temperament, like, sort of reserved or laconic, sort of like keeps to herself and has a short temper, sort of that sort of a dark temperament.
Okay.
But you recognize that name.
Kneecap?
You recognize the name Lacana because Lacana means of the Laconish Highlands. And that that is the name. That's a name you know. This person must be from somewhere around your region of Mystria.
Okay.
Now I don't know if you would actually know this name, or you don't have heraldry.
I don't have any kind of heraldry or local history or anything like that. Like unless it were like a contemporary of mine, like someone who I would have known personally or known.
Give me an intelligence check. See if you would have remembered that name, because it's possible that person did operate in your area. Oh yeah.
28. So like if I knew a cousin of a cousin.
Well, the Lacana family had a whole bunch of their kids who were working directly for Scoria, the Red Dragon, kind of as officers in her groups of like enforcers who would go around and enforce the dragon's will and help collect taxes. The Lacana family were minor officers in the oppressive tax collection regime back before the war. They never came to your town in particular, but your cousin down near the Maiden River, yeah, the Lacana Knights, they were there. And now she's here. Anyway, the goblin keeps going on. Lacana, yeah, well, fucking forest hippies from down south came in. They're damn ass teleporting invisible knights. Pieces of shit. Drove us out. Here we came. Just hopped across a river. Totally safe. Yep. But what are you doing here?
Invisible knights.
Didn't you hear? Oh, those damn dirty forest fuckers. Basically elves, if you ask me. Oh, no, not the elves. The goddamned Drakissian humans. Yeah, they got teleporting invisible knights. They just blink around the battlefield and stab everything in the back, throwing down lightning bolt spells everywhere. Christ almighty, who knows how they got those things? Yep.
That sounds out of hand.
You didn't, did you, where the fuck have you been if you don't know anything about the war that just happened? And how the hell did you get to Kneecap? Says the goblin, like astounded that you're just here hanging.
I think Phoenix is feeling a little over his head.
And yeah, you get a little quiet.
Out of his depth. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I just enjoy a sour beer with my goblin buddies and change the subject? I don't know.
Well, you know, they seem pretty amused by your presence here. And
yeah, I think
when
I
it's
just
clear,
shrug. I don't know. Go back to
you
sulk into my beer and
Well, they continue their chatter. They just go back to conversing amongst themselves about, you know, what's life like working in the mines in Holland, and how bad it is, but how thankful they are to be, you know, at least Scoria is not here. And one of the other goblins takes like a fork at the table and like stabs him in the thigh over and be like, "Don't you talk about our great dragon that way. She was glorious. Don't you remember?" Oh, and you know, the goblins get into a little tuffle over the nature of Scoria and whether she was good or you know, too difficult to work under. And you can sink back into your drink, pondering the difficult situation that you found yourself in. Clearly surrounded by enemies from your homeland. A lot of them, and there's lots of ogres and goblins.
What did you say the name of the Dark Knight was?
Kel Lacana. I'll put it in chat for you.
Kel Lacana. From the Lacanish Highlands. So some upstart lord from back home.
Yeah.
But I was a peasant. It wasn't my lord. Like, if it was my lord, I would have known it, right?
Right. They're from somewhere in here, somewhere to the eastern side of the Lacanish Highlands, not your area. You're like in the middle of them. Yeah. Well, I think this is probably a good spot for Phoenix to sit and contemplate the situation he's in, and we'll come back to this storyline maybe tomorrow.
Sure, we playing tomorrow?
We're playing tomorrow. We'll come back tomorrow and pick this campaign up because it's getting a little late.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's going to be it for today. Thanks so much for playing, Ryan, and I'm so happy that we'll pick this up again in the near future. Anything to say before we head out?
No. Cheers. Good to be back so soon.
Yeah.
I'll say that again tomorrow.